All right, let's see. So I think we just finished another glow. We're like super in love with Cal. Diz is just okay. Mars we still hate. Calm's dead. Hal's dead. Eudicott's flew. Our mom and dad are both we're orphans, and we're 18 finally. Do a little exercises. All right, let's see. I don't really remember where we left off. I know that this kid, Vase and Cal, are at each other's throats because they really want Cal to join them, doing like just fighting. They wanted me to do it too, but I said no. So let's tend to the animals. Working with the animals involves a lot more waste management than you expected. They just keep pooping. The compost is good for the farms at least, but yuck, every day you wake up and shovel dung. We're only supposed to live to like age 19. Cuz like no, not that. There's another thing here, but it's like at 19 it says like the game ends. So I'm concerned. Yeah, for real. According to this game, at least for this character, for Soul, it's gonna be 19, and then and something's gonna happen. I don't know what though. Aw, pollen. This is when my dad was really bad. And our friend, our one, oh, what was his name? Hold on, I have to find him. Oh, I don't even see him on there anymore. Where did he go? Sim. Yes. Sim died too. He fell. Which was very uncool because there was like literally nothing I could do about it either. Um, perception. What is. Oh, my perception's way up there. My biology is also way up there. Engineering. Maybe I should learn some things. I should probably learn some stuff because I'm not exactly the smartest. I don't think there's a way to be fully. I mean, I guess you could be. You learn shit. Yeah. I need to learn things. Creativity, persuasion. I'm great with biology. I don't need any more biology. Empathy, I'm okay with. With that, I get kudos, but I'm not really using my kudos. I guess we'll do study humanities because we get creativity. That sounds like a good thing to have. You catch tangents surreptitiously. Wow, you're going to throw a lot of big words at me right away. Reading about the biochemistry of nucleic acids during humanities class, when she's supposed to be studying 21st century philosophy. Only Tang would shirk one school subject for an even denser one. Damn. 7, 5, 4, 3. Hey, we did it. Should probably check and see if anybody wants to talk to us within these times. Seems like everybody's kind of chilled to do their own thing. No one really wants to chit chat a lot now that we're all big kids and we're all, well, I guess we're basically adults now. We're 18 now. You're doing creative writing in teams, and you're paired with Mars. You wish it was Tang. She always does so well on these. The theme is Earth's natural environment. Mars takes the topic at face value and wants to write about how beautiful everything was on Earth, with blue skies and green plants everywhere, and huge oceans that went forever. It always looks gorgeous in the carefully staged movies you've seen on HoloVids. 3 or 2. I have like no blue cards, so that doesn't do me any good. So write about climate problems instead. Mars wants to write about Earth's lush forests and deep, jewel-like oceans, but you stop her. Wasn't Earth basically on fire when your parents left? You decide you should spend extra time researching how things really were. You've heard the basics from Congruence, but what was it actually like? You ask her for all the information she has on the ecological collapse of Earth. Well, Congruence replies, first, carbon emissions trap the heat of the sun, which raise the global average temperature. You ask her to stop so you can look up carbon emissions. Then she continues. So the polar ice melted and the oceans rose and became too warm to sustain life. Mass weather disruptions caused grasslands to become desert. Then the bees died, and then so did everything they used to pollinate. Food instability caused wars to break out. By the time your parents left Earth, everything was essentially either underwater, on fire most of the year, or irradiated. Damn. That's not something that's happening. Learning all this stresses you out. All of that just because people wanted to drive in cars and own lots of stuff made in faraway places and have big families and keep their big houses the same temperature all year, and all by burning dirty mud they dug out of the ground? Could that happen here too? You keep it in gameplay. I didn't ask for the news. This is what we're heading towards. You're too bummed to present your findings, but Mars steps up. She's an excellent orator, though she does get some of the facts messed up. You don't get an amazing grade. Mars accepts this with grace, but still thinks you would have done better if you'd gone with her idea. Of course, because Mars always thinks her stuff is better. Why are you locked right there, of all places? Oh, shoot. Nice. At least we won. It's not by a lot, but at least we got it. Late pollen. I don't think if I talk to them when they don't want to talk to me. Cal is doing some hardcore inverted yoga pose, balanced on his hands with his legs folded up and his knees tucked on top of his elbows. His breathing is long and steady. Check it out, he says, slowly extending one leg out so it sticks straight up into the air behind him. This one's called crow pose, but I think it's kind of more like a float cow. Get it? Because it's kind of like I'm floating? Float crow? Okay. You have fun with that. I'm going out. I'm going to go search for stuff. We'll go forage in the valley, see what we can find. We won't find Sim anymore, though. Let's see if we can... Oh! Excuse me? Hold on a minute. We saw you die. You're taking a sample at the base of a tree when you feel something patter off of your head and fall to the ground. It's a nut? That's strange. The species doesn't usually... You look up and your stomach lurches when you realize you've been being watched this whole time. A pair of familiar eyes peers down at you from the branches. It's Sim. He grins down at you. Well, 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 if it isn't the little human. Have you come to visit me, Sugarbug? I saw you die. Did you? He says slyly. You'd think I would remember that. If you did witness my death, I apologize, Sim continues. He leans down from his branch, his long hair dangling just out of reach. I imagine I didn't enjoy it much either. I guess I'm happy you're alive. How? How did this? Sim sighs gratuitously. I wish everyone felt that way, he mutters. One of my associates seems to feel otherwise. At your confused look, he waves his hand. One of the other gardeners, noctilucent. They really don't care for you humans, I'm afraid, and they're aware I've taken an interest in you. With a soft woof, Sim drops gracefully out of the tree and dusts himself off. He claps you on the shoulder. I'd watch out for them if I were you, he says. They're quite dangerous. Sim turns to leave, but you sputter and grab his sleeve. You can't. After all that, you deserve some answers. Real ones. He owes you that. Actually, he doesn't really owe us shit. He turns to you, one arch eyebrow raised. What is it, Solana? Are you. What do you really do here? Sim gives you a blank smile. I am a gardener, he says simply. I was created to be a gardener, and I imagine I will be one until my services are no longer required. At your look of confusion, Sim softens. Humanity is so concerned with purpose, he says sadly. It is because you were not created for one, and you spend the eternity of your short lives under the impression you need one. The concept of someone having a purpose must be seductive. He shrugs one elegant shoulder. My existence is simple. I act in the ways for which I was created. That is not an interesting answer for an individualist species as yourselves, I am aware. Perhaps we must both accept that it may be beyond the human capacity to comprehend. Are you really, Sim? The one and the same, Sim answers, carefully prying your hand from his clothing. I acknowledge this is difficult for you to understand. He takes a deep breath, considering his words carefully. Humans have but one short window of consciousness, which encourages you to think of yourselves as individual points on the line of history. You are, quite clearly, not your parents, or your grandparents, or your unborn children. You are your own marvelous creature. He places his hand on his chest. I do not disappear when this form dies. I am eternal, in a sense. I am all who came before, and I am all who will come after. I am my own legacy. I am symbiosis. So, if that's true, then that means it doesn't matter how many of these things we kill. Like, not him, obviously, but like the other ones that were like trying to kill our people. Doesn't matter how many we kill, like, they're going to come back. That's not ideal. For us. He tilts his head to the side as if listening to something and squeezes your hand. I fear I have said too much. I hope I can see you again soon, and that all may be revealed to you. Well, at least he's not dead, so that's kind of cool. You spot a hop-eye nest, just like Tangent asked you to find. There are 9 eggs inside, all packaged up in what looks like a delicate spun glass cocoon. You don't see the parents. No. Screw her. I'm not doing what she asked of me. Oh, I have to? Break a little hole in the cocoon and put 3 of the eggs in your bag. They're a little gooey. You hope they don't break. You turn to leave and come face to face with an adult hop-eye. Understandably, it looks spittin' mad. It drums its powerful foot in the ground in warning, and 4 more pop out of the undergrowth and start hissing at you. You should have known these sociable little creatures raise their young communally. Use animal psychology. You've learned from the Holopedia that the 2 different sets of eyes on a hop eye have different purposes. The large, bulging eyes on top are hardwired for perceiving danger, but their small, forward-facing ones are more concerned with finding food. If you're not food and you're not danger, you throw yourself onto your belly and wriggle away while the hop eyes stare at you curiously. When you're a safe distance away, they return to poking at their violated nest in confusion. Oh, now I feel bad. I'm stocking up on all this stuff because I imagine like the last fight is going to be like super tough. What are you doing all the way out here? The paths are narrow and in constant need of repair. Oh, we did this once before. Fixing the bridge. Mm-hmm. Oh, damn it. Damn, no matter what, I can't get them in a row. Doesn't matter. Still win. Huzzah! Oh, it's your field of butter daisies. Just take one. I think we have one more little thing we can probably do before we're way too stressed out. See if there's any more like super important quests. Like this guy! The Valley of Vertigo spans a huge and relatively safe area, so it's rare to see other foragers out there. It's surprising, then, to come across Utopia and two other foragers crouching in the bushes. Psst, Solana, Utopia hisses, beckoning you over. Get over here. You slink over to the other foragers. Through a gap in the underbrush, you spot a terrific sight. A fully grown manticore has fallen into a nest of at least 20 snap ladders, and they're engaged in what looks like a battle to the death. I've got 10 kudos on the snap ladders, she says. I fell into a nest once. I was laid up in the med bay for a week. Poor manticore, one of the foragers says. What a way to go. Last forager snorts. Who cares? After what they did to Hal, every manticore can rot for all I care. Manticore roars in pain as it's torn apart by the whip-fast, hungry snap platters. I don't think I want to help the manticore. It's gut-wrenching to watch how much punishment the manticore can take, slowly being poisoned and torn apart piece by piece. Finally, it collapses into the carnage, and there's no movement at all. Huh. Guess they killed each other, Utopia mutters. But one of the foragers gasps and points. The manticore is moving. It slowly gets to its delicate feet and limps off, bleeding heavily, but alive. You grumble and pay out your losing bet. All right, let's get in there and scavenge what we can. Ah, now I must go home. I mean, as cool as it would have been if we saved the manticore and it was like our friend, I highly doubt that. They have been nothing but dangerous this whole time. Oh, enhance your DNA in engineering. I can enhance my DNA? How do I do that? And what does that mean? Of all the people in the colony, you understand genetics the best, besides Dr. Instance, probably. She trusts you to attend to the genetic machine. With access to a machine like this, you could give yourself a new genetic enhancement. Sure, you probably shouldn't mess with your genome too much in vivo, but one little change couldn't hurt. Like, how am I changing this? I'm just going to change it with the day because I have no idea what to name it. Oh! So the enhancements I could have given myself when I first started. You became a Spider-Man villain. So these are just the ones that, like, When I first started the game, it asked me, did I want any sort of like superpowers or whatever, and I said no. Ah, it's not a. It's a big decision, not to be taken lightly. Okay, well, I don't want to change anything right now. Hi, Cal. I'm gonna go rest over here if you want to hang out. Your mother's white astrantia flowers are flourishing in the garden, and everywhere else, too. They've really taken to something in the soil there. You even see them outside the walls. Something must be carrying their seeds out towards the wilderness. Is it us? Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Not that I don't like Nem, but that's a low. I think we need to start getting rid of like our twos and stuff. You find Tangent in engineering and set down the bag of squelchy, goopy hop-eye eggs. Her eyes go wide. You found them, she exclaims. That's wonderful. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten all about my request. She reaches for the eggs but stops. Wait, what is that sound? Are they. They are. You hear a wet crackling sound coming from the bag. You're about to witness the miracle of life, Vertumna style. What do you do? I guess I'll just enjoy the magic. Not every day you get to witness a new life being born. You and Tang watch in wonder as the gel-like shell of the largest hop-eye egg splits like a ripe melon in the sun, spilling out a tiny, squirming pink baby and a small puddle of amniotic fluid. You watch the last two eggs intently, but through the clear eggshell you can't see any movement inside at all, not even a heartbeat. It's okay, Tang says. We only need one. The tiny hop-eye is on its feet. Well, foot. Within minutes, taking cautious little hops on the sleek surface of the lab bench. Magnificent, Tangent says, keeping the palm-sized hop-eye from falling off the table. I expected them to be helpless at birth, like kittens or birds, not already moving around like an ungulate. Incredible. I can't wait to study it. Um, how are you going to study it though? I don't I don't think I want her to keep it. Because if I remember correctly, she wanted to like take blood and all that different kind of stuff. I don't think I want her to keep it and do scientific studies on it. You're going to what? Tang deadpans. After I specifically asked for you to bring it back to me. You're the worst, Solana, but I suppose it's your decision. I mean, if I. It's kind of cute in a way, Tang says, rubbing under its little nubbin chin with her finger. What are you going to name it? Optimus Prime. Hop Solo. Sir Hops a lot. Mrs. Hoppington. I think we have to go with Optimus Prime. Also, if I knew that Tang was going to keep it like a pet, I would have let her keep it. Optimus Prime. A noble companion who's more than meets the eye. Perfect. You pick up your baby Optimus Prime and hold it to your chest. Better be careful with it. You're a parent now. Oh yeah, it's Vertumnalia. This year, Governor Lum's ascension to the Vertumnalia stage is heralded by an entire military band, their instruments shiny and nano-printed new. They march out of command in formation, splitting and forming a phalanx at the foot of the stage as Lum takes his place before you. Spotlights turn on with a heavy ka-chunk noise, illuminating Lum in a halo of floating dust particles. He spreads his arms wide. Hello, Vertumna, his voice booms over the speakers. Are we winning or what? The reaction is mixed. You look around. It's easy to see the ones cheering the loudest are Helios and people who have fully adopted their mentality like Nem. The Stratos are more reserved, some even silent. Security Chief Rhett is one of them, his usual stony expression hiding his true feelings. Regardless, there's enough cheering that Lum has to wait for it to die down before he continues. We're killing it out there, people, he exclaims. Every day we claw a little more territory from the savage aliens of this planet. A Watado pod arcs through the air and lands with a broken splort at Lum's feet. splattering him with juice. You don't see who threw it, but the faction from Geoponics is looking restless. They began to jeer and stomp their feet. Lum continues on, raising his fist. Those Xenos attacked us first. Now they're learning don't mess with humankind. The crowd is now evenly split between cheering and booing. The Stratos are agitated, and Yer calls for things to return to how they were, and how Lum and his soldiers are killing the planet. Even the council, lined up before the stage and facing the crowd, looks conflicted. That ain't how it is, Utopia turns and hollers up at Lum. You don't even know what it's like out there. You just send folks out to die for your stupid war. Utopia hops on stage and routs her own hearspake through the speakers. He's lying, she yells bitterly. This year we lost two surveyors in the swamps, Sorrel and Kinney. They'd be alive today if Lum hadn't sent 'em to clear out a manticore den for no good reason. She jams her finger against the governor's chest. The only threat to our colony here is you. Lum's smile doesn't change, but his eyes go cold. He snatches Utopia's hand and calmly, slowly, crushes her hollow palm crystal with his thumb. You can hear the crunch of the bones of her hand before her feed cuts out. Utopia yelps as her knees buckle with pain, her bravado gone. She holds her broken hand to her chest and is too shocked to resist when Lum shoves her off stage. Dude, what a fucking asshole. I hope this guy dies. He better die. The crowd is stunned into silence as well. Lum clears his throat and approaches the end of the stage, looming tall over the council. Thank you for your input, he says icily. Your concerns have been noted. This isn't the buffoon Lum presents on his daily holo vlogs, or the nuisance he is when he visits a work site. You see something in his eyes you've only caught glimmers of before. Hatred. You Stratos are lucky we didn't crush you under our boots and take your colony by force, he sneers. Before we got here, this colony was doomed. You're only alive because I was merciful. Just a bunch of burned out hippie fugitives. What was your plan for surviving out here? Wishful thinking? Singing songs and talking to animals? Laughter ripples through the Helios. You, he gestures to the council, then jerks his thumb at his chest, need us, not the other way around. I'm done pretending I need to listen to your opinions. If you want to live, you'll do what I say. He stares at Dr. Instance, who glares up at him with hate in her eyes, and she tends to Utopia's hand. Maybe it's time to clean house, he threatens. We need team players here, ones who share one vision for the future of Vertumna. After a few tense moments, Seek clears their throat. Ahem, sir, shall I continue with the traditional formalities now? Lum scowls down at Seek, then throws his hands in the air. Whatever, do it if it makes you feel better. You're all cowards. He turns and stalks off stage, his marching band scrambling to follow him with his exit song. As promised, there are no contests this year, but there's plenty of food and alcohol. As the sun begins to set, the Helios, including Vase and Nem, head straight for it and look ready to party into the night. The other teams seem a little less at ease. Diz, quite predictably, has already left. No, I think I'll hang out with my actual friends. No, I totally get it, Rex says to Cal as you approach. They didn't used to be this mean. Sure, we all joked about how, we'd find you guys rubbing sticks together in the dirt after your nanotech broke down, but it wasn't like this. He jerks his thumb towards Vase and his group of friends, who have wrangled themselves a live trippet and are skewering it to roast over a bonfire. You can hear its dying squeals from here, and as night falls, smell the sweet charred scent of it cooking. No, they've always kind of been like this. Nomi shakes their head. Just like total human supremacists? See something you don't understand? Nomi makes laser guns with their fingers. Pew pew, all gone. Want something someone else has? Pew pew, all yours. They lean back on their hands and look up at the sky. In dusk, the wormhole looks so peaceful and far away. I used to think me and Rex were like changelings, like aliens beamed in and replaced two human babies with weirdos. I don't think you're weird, Cal says, eyes wide. I think it's really great you two don't act like Helios. We are Helios, though, Rex replies, and Nomi nods. And some people dancing around that bonfire are Stratos. It's not about how you were raised. It's about the choices you make, Nomi finishes. No one is just a good person or a bad person. Only bad people think they always make the right choices. The dancing and feasting continues well into the night while you pass the time with your friends in the peaceful faction. Knowing that the whole colony isn't into being soldiers and fighting for Lum's war on nature makes you feel less alone. But you can't stop thinking about the governor's eyes as he crushed Utopia's hand today. So long as he's in charge, does it matter what anyone else wants? The week after Vertumnalia is one of the hottest since you landed. You're supposed to take time off for a much needed break, but it's so humid and awful and tempers are short. Shortly after the festival, you start seeing graffiti cropping up everywhere. It seems that a lively, if not particularly civil, conversation between the two factions is being held on the flat surfaces of the colony. Lum announces a zero tolerance policy for political graffiti, but you notice that not every tag is being removed, just the ones against the war, of course. The atmosphere of the colony is oppressive, as thick as the choking dust heat itself. Everywhere you try to relax, people just want to talk about the war. To make matters worse, the sweltering nights are making your nightmares intense again. You return to work feeling more stressed than before. It's getting dangerous. Oh, they're both with me! Ah, I've got pets! I love it! The little Hopeye is so cute. Still don't think anybody really wants to chat. So let's learn some more things. Let's be a little bit more creative. It's time for your end of term humanities project. You, Tang, and Mars are all very excited to finish this project, showing everything you've learned in this subject so far. Congruence helps you come up with your project idea. Pretend you're students 500 years from now and you're learning about the first ever colony on Vertumna. What sources of information would you be reading, watching, or listening to in order to learn about life back then? Create one of these artifacts for future students of the humanities. We should write a textbook, Tang says during your brainstorming session. The more we show we've learned, the more likely we'll pass the class. All we have to do is make sure everything is in there, and we're done. Mars rolls her eyes. That's so boring, Tang, she whines, putting her head on Tang's shoulder. Who wants to write the literal book? We should do something funny and stylish, like, ooh, we could make a music video. Tang looks horrified. We are not making a music video, she says, grimacing. Surely we can meet somewhere in the middle. Mars turns her head so she can kiss Tang on the cheek. Are they a thing? So she kissed her on the cheek, and the bridge of Tang's nose goes pink as her eyes dart to you nervously. Girl, you're fine. I have no issues with that. Every band needs a bass player, Mars croons. Ooh, or a guitarist. Guitarist. It's hard to read if I can't talk. It's hard to read with my sore throat, too. Although it's not really sore, it's just, voice gone, which happens all the time. I have a bad voice box, I think. It's broken. Tang shudders with her whole body, dislodging Mars, who giggles and relents. Okay, Mars says. Let's be serious here. Tang's right. We have to do something that proves we learned everything about this subject that's worth knowing. Mars is right too, Tang admits. There's no shame in relying on her charisma. You mean my good looks? Mars asks, flipping her hair over her shoulder. Tang looks down at her hull palm and smiles. Truly, what's better than gals being pals? And history will say they were just friends. In the end, you agree to record a news segment about the colony's war on nature. What spin are you giving your news report? A rebel cry, down with war! A call to action. Defend the colony, just the facts. I think we all are against the war, so let's do down with the war. They and they were roommates. Plus 3. So 7, 5, 2. Jesus Christ. So that gets a plus 3. So 5, 4. Damn it. It's 31 no matter what, so. 10, 8, 8, 6, 2. Ooh, we're so close, but not quite there. Can I swap those? Oh, that gets us to 45. There we go. I was gonna say, I have like so many of these little things. I've got 25 flowers. You, Tang, and Mars pour everything you have into your final project. It's a hit. You even post it on the colony message board and get tons of comments and even a few kudos. It's gratifying to know that something you've written is being enjoyed by the people you love. Is this why old Earth poets wrote so much? Congruence Hollow Projection smiles at you. Congratulations, you three. As an Earth poet once said, if you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going. She invites you to come audit the class whenever you'd like. Nice. Victorious. I haven't given people flowers very much. We should give how many flowers do I have? I have 25. I definitely have enough to give everybody a flower. Nomi is painting their nails, every nail a different bright color. I used to love that as a kid. Do rainbow nails. Wait, I can do something with you? Marzipan let me borrow some of her nail polish, they say. She's so glamorous. And she said that if I liked any of the colors, I could just have them because she has so many. Oh, okay. Well, Mars is apparently grown up to be a little bit nicer than what we remembered as kids. I still love your look. You're so cool. Want to make something? Nomi flaps their hand in front of their face. I do, but it's so hot on this planet, don't you think? You shrug. Sure, it's different than living on a climate controlled spaceship, but you're kind of used to it by now. Nomi snaps their fingers. Wait, we should make something to stay cool. You and Nomi brainstorm all sorts of weird and wonderful ways to stay cool. Umbrella hats, sunglasses with funny shapes, giant vats of cooling goop, but it all seems too complicated. Eventually, you just end up doodling on some of Nomi's paper and folding it to make paper fans. Sometimes, the best solutions are the most simple. They smile, fanning themselves with their new Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform fan. Nice. Oh, wait, I was supposed to give you a flower. Nomi is sitting in front of an array of hollow screens, all displaying different tutorials for various crafts and hobbies. I was thinking of learning something new, Nomi says, poking their finger into their cheek. It's not enough that I already know how to. Wait. It's not enough that I already know how to draw and write and play video games. I could learn to knit, or sculpt, or make jewelry. They think about this for a second. I know we can just nanoprint stuff like that, but it's nice to make stuff with your hands, right? That's true. I sew. I very poorly draw. I like working with clay. I also have done one or two like ball joint doll face ups. I like working with my hands. You want a flower? Nomi looks a little surprised. You brought me a gift? They exclaim. Like, just because? OMG, Solana, thank you. I can't really do Nomi's voice because usually I do her voice or their voice higher. And it's a little hard with my throat being all like effed up. My voice, whenever I like get my voice like messed up, it always goes lower. It's a lot easier to do a lower voice than it is doing my normal high voices. You can hear it cracking. Tang, would you like a flower? I know we're not real close, but I suppose this might be of scientific interest, Tang says, analyzing the flower. She pulls a petal off and looks at it. Yes, I'll have to take a look at this under a microscope. My eyes stopped reading right there. I hope you find it useful. She turns to walk away, then remembers herself. Thank you, she adds, almost as an afterthought. All right, let's see. Who else wants a flower? Nem. Nem. Oh, I can train with her. Nem is watching some of the other soldiers practicing their hand-to-hand combat. Man, she says, I hope we never actually have to do that. Seems like a bad idea. Want to train together? Nem always insists that you never go easy on her, so this time, you don't. You go after her with everything you've got. Ooh, dang. So make sure that's the last card. By the time she finally taps out, you're both breathing hard. You let her up, and she touches her fingertips to her eyebrow, startling when it comes back red. Whoa, she says. You really kicked my ass. Good job. You catch Nem around the side of the garrison, leaning against the wall with her eyes closed. You call her name, and she jerks awake, her hand going to her rifle. What? What's going on? Are they here? I have a flower for you. Aw, that's okay. Pay attention to your work. Your work is more important. Miss you. I gotta stop by in more streams. It's Tuesday. Are you streaming? I'll check your schedule, see if you're streaming. I might be able to actually stop in for once today. Nemini looks at the offering. Thanks. All right. Well, you're not much of a flower person. That's fair. Vase, I don't want to, but I'm giving you a flower because I'm just being... What? Why can't I challenge him? Combat. Oh, I need combat. Ugh. You're pretty good friends with Rex, aren't you? Vase asks, giving you a once-over. Must not like what he sees. Wouldn't go around telling everyone that. Might not work out great for you. Just a bit of friendly advice. Okay, well, you're an asshole, but I'm giving you a flower anyway. Oh, you don't like it. Fuck you. Vase cups the exotic flower in his hand and slowly closes his fist, crushing it to a pulp, and wipes it on his pants. You might have thought that was pretty, Solana, but everything on this planet is potentially a deadly trap. Don't let your guard down. All right, you just solidified more of the fact that I don't like you. Rex! You spot Rex carrying supplies and big pieces of wood into a huge tarped-up section at the end of the lounge. He waves at you. Well, as much as a wave as he can do with his arms full of mushwood. Hey, Solana. Hala, Solana? He calls out to you. Have you come to see the bar? You give him a questioning look. The bar? You don't know Rex super well. You've never heard anything about a bar. He gestures to the tarps. My bar, he says. I've been working on a special project ever since I joined the construction crew. The colony needed a place to cut loose, you dig? He looks up at it, beaming with pride. I think it's about halfway done. You take a look at what you can see. Rex has kept it all pretty well tarped up and hates letting people inside to peek, but you can tell it's big. Perhaps a little too big. Ambitious, maybe, for a first solo construction project. But Rex has had a lot of help from his crew and from the whole colony. He'd have to be able to find enough wood. Rex comes over to you and slings you into a one-armed hug. Just seeing you makes me super energized, he says. I can almost hear the music now. That's right, the bar's going to have live music. You know anyone who plays an instrument? I'm going to work double time to finish this place. If you want to help, bring me all the mushwood you can find. I would love to, but I kind of need that. Rex is surveying an empty lot with a critical eye. There's still a potential here, he says thoughtfully, tapping something into his hollow palm. Maybe an elder care home? One day, hopefully, we'll be lucky enough to have old folks, and it makes sense to have it right in the middle of the colony. He gestures his hollow palm away and turns to you with a smile. Gotta think about the future if we're still expecting to have one. Would you like a flounder? No, no, Rex shakes his head with a smile and gently puts the gift back in your hand. I have everything I need, for real. This place is great. 3 squares. Oh, wait, he told us this. He just wants cake on his birthday. All right, well, we tried. Diz, where are you? Would you like a flower? Probably not, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Diz is squatting at the edge of the colony, staring off into the wilderness with his arms wrapped around his knees. Doesn't matter, he musters. Soon I'll be gone, and then you'll be gone. Puts one hand on the ground. We'll all be gone eventually. Would you like a flower to cheer up with? Um, thank you, Diz says, clearly unsure about how to react. I'll, find something to do with it. I'm just going around like a little flower girl. Be like, here, you want a flower? Except in mine, Solana's kind of a boy. Cal is sitting cross-legged on the top of the garden shed, his face turned towards the sun. He cracks open one eye when he realizes you're watching him. I like to spend a little bit of time every day communing with the planet, he says, smiling down at you. I think it's kind of important to think about why we're here and what we're doing, you know? Good, commune with the flower. Cal accepts your gift with a genuine smile. Thanks for thinking of me on my birthday, Solana. Shit! I would have given you cake if I remembered it was your birthday. Oh, you want to talk? Where are we? You've been invited to Cal's house for, as he puts it, a real grown up party. When you arrive, Auntie Tira gives you a warm hug and shows you inside to where Cal set up the living area with little twinkling lights and lots of blankets. Smooth, yeah. You walk up to somebody. I think I did that last year too. I walked up to him. I was like, "Here, you want this?" And he's like, "Oh, thanks for thinking of me, my birthday." And I was like, "Yeah, your birthday, totally." That's highly possible. You sit down at the table across from Cal, and Tira pours you both a glass of mushroom wine. Ew. I like a lot of things. Mushrooms, very, very rarely, only on certain things. She leaves the open bottle on the table. You kids can finish off the bottle if you like, she says. It's a good vintage, one of your dad's first brews, Solana. A little on the strong side. She winks. I'll be out late, Tira says, kissing the top of Cal's head. Hollow me if you need anything, but don't you two wait up for me, okay? Wow, Auntie Tira is cool. Cal smiles at you as you tuck into dinner. I'm glad you could come, he says. I thought about inviting Rex, but he has like zero chill, you know? Besides, he continues, you're my BFF, remember? I can't think of anyone else I'd rather be with. That's all we are? We're just BFFs? Did you just friend zone me? Oh, man. Oh, I thought we had something, Cal. Awesome. Yep. Totally. Just the bestest of friends, Cal. Just super friends. Cal puts his fork down and looks at you earnestly. I'm really glad you're my friend, Solana. I'm so proud of everything you've done. Sometimes I think I really love you as a person, you know? He looks down suddenly shy. Sorry, I know that's a lot. I'm just really grateful for you. You and Cal share a wonderful dinner and polish off the bottle of wine. Afterwards, you settle into a big pile of blankets to lie back and look at the stars through the big skylight in his living room. I didn't. Okay, fair. I did forget his birthday. But I gave him a gift. He doesn't know I forgot his birthday. He just thinks I just gave him a flower for his birthday. And so that's why I think we should domesticate more Unisaur. It just makes sense. Cal finishes, and you laugh. He's right. Who doesn't want to ride a unicorn? You deserve a unicorn. You've been laughing a lot. Everything is just so funny and also so pretty. The stars look like they're swimming in a big dark ocean, and the little twinkly lights Cal put up look like stars you can touch. You reach out to grab one and come up hilariously short, and Cal giggles at you. Cal is warm and cozy against your side, and the blankets are so soft. Everything is wonderful. You're struck suddenly by the thought that the only thing that would make this better is if you were kissing Cal. Yeah, but he just said we're BFFs. Ha ha. What if you shared your first kiss under the moonlight? Ha ha. Just kidding. Unless. Ah! But what if I make things awkward? He just was like, "You're my best friend." Isn't that the, like just the symbol for like a guy or a girl or whoever is just not interested? You're like flirting with them and they're like, "Oh man, you're so funny. I'm so glad we're like besties." And you're like, "Oh, right to the heart. Don't be a coward." Yeah, actually my first kiss was with Rex. He doesn't need to know that though. That's between me and Rex. All right, let's see if we get absolutely friend zoned. Like, we go to kiss him and he's like, "Whoa, what are you doing, bestie?" Yeah, right? Be like you go over to your best guy friend's house and you're just chilling and then you're like, "Hey, this is kind of romantic." And they're like, "Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be great if like we were like we had somebody that we were dating or something like with us?" Be like, "Oh, shit." Kiss him. What happens? Oh god. You push yourself up so that you're propped up on one elbow, leaning over Cal. He blinks up at you, slow and trusting, not even alarmed when you place your hand gently on his muscular chest. "Wow, that feels nice," he says. "Everything feels so nice, you know?" "Oh no, are we tipsy? Are we drunk?" "Oh no, this makes this even worse. We were drinking wine. I don't drink, so can you get drunk off wine? You can get drunk off anything, I think, right?" You summon the courage to slide your hand up Cal's chest and over his throat, stopping to cradle his jaw. His stubble prickles under your palm. Now there's a question in Cal's eyes. "What's up, Solana?" How do you answer? He just seems like I don't know. If you're laying on the floor next to the person you're interested in, you're suddenly like sliding your hand up their chest into their face and cupping their face, and they're just like, "What's up, bro? What's up, bestie?" Like, you can get drunk off wine. Wine ants. Jeez. Oh no. This could go real bad or real good or kind of right down the middle and just be awkward. What if I don't know how he seems kind of dense in this moment. Okay, we're saving. We're saving. Hold on. Cal's kiss. That's what we're naming this. I don't want like I want this to be his choice. I do want I want to, but I don't want to ruin our friendship if he just thinks we're bestest buddies. Cuz maybe he's still hung up on Tam or on Tammy cuz she was like apparently they were really close. Look alluring and hope he gets the hint. Please don't be dense. Oh, Cal smiles. Why is your face like that, bruh? Bruh! Bruh! Lay back down. You're blocking the stars. Oh, okay. Oh, that's. Maybe it's for the best. You two are pretty faded. What? What? We're faded? That's not drunk. That's something else entirely. What are we doing? Cal, what have you invited me into your house to do? I'm mushroom wine. Oh, I didn't think of that. I just thought it was like regular mushrooms. Oh. Oh, snap. That's an adult party. Yeah, I guess. One of those things I've never partaken in. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, maybe if we just tell him if he's not interested. Oh, I didn't think of that. So maybe we'll just tell him and then we'll hope that if he's like, "No, I'm not interested like in you like that," then we can just be like, "Oh yeah, man, I was just like, I don't know, I was just saying some crazy things." Cal's eyes go wide. Oh, really? He breathes out. His blush surges down his face, almost to his chest. Oh boy. Solana, I. Cal looks away. A long time ago, I told myself I could never be with anyone. Not after Tammy. After she. I knew it. Oh, I fucked it up so bad! He swallows wetly. Sorry, that was a lifetime ago. I was just a dumb kid, too young to even really know what love was. I just feel guilty. Cal wipes his eyes and looks up at the stars. She would have wanted us to be happy, right? You wait in silence while Cal struggles. Eventually, he smiles at you, shaky and sweet. You do make me so happy, Solana. You lean in to kiss Cal, and he inhales in surprise before relaxing into it and letting you kiss your fill off of him. He tastes like smoke. Ew. Cal kisses like he does everything else. Sweetly, earnestly, patiently. He runs his thumb over your cheekbone as you pull away to breathe. Wow, he murmurs. You're so pretty, Solana. I'm so happy you like me too. Just now? We just now started dating? What was that before? I clearly don't understand dating, even in the real world, because I could have swore we were dating ahead of time. Because that's why I didn't flirt with anybody else, because I was like, oh no, it's me and Cal. What the fuck? You kiss until you feel your eyes getting heavy, and you can't help but yawn into each one. You lie down next to each other, and Cal wiggles his arms under your head. He pulls a blanket over the both of you, cocooning you in comfort and warmth. As you tip backwards into sleep, all you feel is love. All you need is love. If I could, if my voice wasn't wrecked, I would absolutely be singing shit. Why did the name of the movie just completely go out my head? Moulin Rouge. You sleep soundly in Cal's strong arms. Morning arrives unceremoniously, pouring through the skylight directly onto your face. You grumble as you turn your head away, burrowing into something that's soft and smells sleepy sweet. Oh, it's Cal, and your face is smushed into the soft skin of his armpit. Oh, that's right, he doesn't sweat. Thank God. Just like waking up like to body odor right in your nose. His arm is curled around your shoulders protectively, your legs tangled together under the blankets. Cal shifts underneath you and blinks his bloodshot eyes open, squinting into the merciless sunrise. Ah, dip, he mumbles, clinging to sleep. That's so much. You can almost tell the moment when he remembers what happened between the two of you last night. His lips curve into a shy little smile as he leans down and kisses you. Wow, he says, full of awe. I'm so glad I just get to do that now. Ah. Before long, his mom pokes her head into the living room area. Hey, kids, she says chipper, ready for some breakfast. Let's try that again. Before long, his mom pokes her head into the living area. Hey, kids, she says chipper, ready for some breakfast? That's better. Breakfast sounds incredible. You've never been more excited at the prospect of breakfast in your life. That might have something to do with that mushroom wine. You share a breakfast of roasted trippet and eggs with Cal, his mom, and her three partners. Cal takes your hand under the table and blushes through all four of his parents, affectionately teasing the two of you for finally sealing the deal. Even though the rest of the colony is in chaos, you feel somehow healed having taken the night to let yourself bask in their love. Ah, we're official! Yay! Wait, what can we do now? I can flirt. That's the first time I've been able to flirt. Wait, no, it's not like the second time, I think. Cal is deep in conversation with one of the other gardeners as you approach, but as soon as he sees you, he breaks away from them and scoops you up in a big bear hug. Oh, that sounds nice. Solana, he cheers, swinging you off your feet. How'd you know I was thinking about you? He sets you down and gives you a little kiss on the nose. Boop. Oh, damn, that would be fast. Let's get out of here. Cal beams. Yeah, of course. I can always make time for you. He knows a good spot. Hey, I got an idea, he says, smiling mischievously. Follow me. Cal leads you to the gardening shed and closes the door behind you, cocooning you in the dust and dim light. He backs you up against the workbench and kisses you deeply. No one comes in here anymore. Not during this season, he says, sliding his hand up your shirt with a smile. Ooh. Ah! The next sentence. You can be as loud as you want, babe. You're not going to bother anyone. You consider that a challenge, and Cal applies himself to making it a difficult one. Damn, that got real spicy real fast. Cal. I was hoping there wasn't going to be more. I was like, please don't make me read anything more than that. All right, well, we should be totally not stressed now. Let's go see if we can talk to Sim again. You unlocked the boy. I have unlocked romantic relationship with Cal. Yay, Sim wants to talk. Sim, teach me your ways. Sim materializes out of the forest before you. Solana, he says gravely, forgive my directness, but you must come with me now. Places his hand on your shoulder. Please trust me when I say I have done my best to argue on behalf of your kind. I hope only for the continued survival of humanity. Ominous. Ooh. He crouches down to slide into a hidden opening under the roots of a tree. You follow, feeling strangely as if you're crawling into the belly of some animal. You emerge into a cave filled with the hum of strange machinery. A bank of ancient-looking control panels and a crystal tank of glowing liquid seem almost to have grown out of the natural rock. Mineral deposits from moisture trickling down the walls have reclaimed some of them. Sim leads you to a console. This is the array, he says, pressing what seems to be buttons. As I've explained, this body I wear is only a vessel. My consciousness, the person who I am, is stored in the array. I return to it regularly, storing my body in the regeneration tank while I back up what I've learned that day in the array. Physical forms are prone to injury and death, Sim says quietly. It is temporary but highly unpleasant. Therefore, the Overseer prefers to remain in the array. Sim directs you to two weirdly fungal growths. Please take hold of these interface handles. You cautiously touch the handles and say, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't want to just be like, body, they're icky. I kind of like my body. And he's not a computer. I mean, not really. Nothing to be afraid of, just a little mind-matter interface. A strange presence speaks in your head. Play it cool. You can feel the Overseer pause, then a sensation in your mind that reminds you of someone clearing their throat. I am the Overseer, the voice continues. I speak for the gardeners. We will now show you what we are. Okay. You have the oddest feeling of memories being inserted into your mind. First a trickle, then a flood. A civilization called the Convergent Domain once existed on this planet over 20,000 years ago. In your mind, you see their dominion stretched from pole to pole, their farms and solar rays glittering on the surface as their massive cities tunneled down below. The Convergent Domain created the gardeners as their ecological control system, a vast network of artificial intelligences stored deep underground in a digital array. Self-propagating control towers and cloning stations were seeded, allowing a gardener program to take biological form, downloading a copy of its consciousness into a host body created to suit the task at hand. You think of Sim, his body created to suit the task of befriending you? Under the direction of the Convergent Domain, the gardeners controlled the weather, the acidity of the soil, the cultivated species in their farms, and the rapidly shrinking wild areas of the planet. The Overseer doesn't quite sigh, but you get the impression it would. Over time, the Domain nearly destroyed this planet. They didn't respect nature? Correct, the Overseer responds. They saw the natural world as an unending buffet of resources. The exhaust from their factories blanketed the planet, choking out sunlight and oxygen. They consumed too much, destroyed the planet's ecosystem, then fought bitterly over the remaining resources. The last directive the gardeners were given by the domain was to repair the planet's destroyed ecosystem. The overseer says solemnly. The gardeners tried, but it was too late. When the crops failed and the atmosphere became too thick for sunlight to pierce, the convergent domain perished by the billions. The last survivors took to the sky in colony ships and never returned. So basically, the same thing that humans did to Earth. You try to imagine a tragedy on this scale, but it's just too enormous, too abstract to wrap your head around. The overseer continues relentlessly, new thoughts flooding into your mind. Over the millennia, the gardeners took their task seriously. It takes little effort to render a planet inhospitable, but significant dedication to restore it. Under the guidance of the gardeners and the final directive of the convergent domain, nature at last reclaimed the barren planet. The garden existed in perfect balance, and now your species has invaded it. We had nowhere else to go. Your kind had the option to stay where they were, the overseer replies, the tone of its thoughts darkening. Do you think we have empathy for the convergent domain who fled on colony ships? The ones who selfishly refused to give their bodies back to the planet they destroyed with their pride? You chose to come here, the overseer continues, and you continue to stay here. You could instead choose to die. Well, shit. Hi, Docs! How are you? Some Vertumdan species have a technique of future sight, which the gardeners harness to catch glimpses onto the web of timelines. We see that you possess this technique too, alone in your kind. We have foreseen that humans pose a great danger to this planet. You are a monoculture, an invasive species. You throw our hard-worn balance in disarray. Since arriving, you have shown nothing but a willingness to consume the planet's resources and place them with more humans. Uh, I'm sorry we landed, but we didn't. Our spaceship kind of crashed here. Your guilt is inconsequential, the overseer replies. We have observed that this emotion makes humans behave defensively. They avoid the cause of the guilt, or worse, try to destroy it. No, it is better to pull a blighted plant from the root. Shit. Most gardeners would prefer to stamp you humans out like encroaching weeds, the overseer says, without malice. We good, we good. Oh gosh. Oh, yeah. After coffee, that's a different taste. Indeed, we have tried using ecologically compliant organic methods. We are impressed at your tenacity to withstand those eradication procedures. Have fun on your call. The yearly attacks, the famine, the pollen, not random natural occurrences at all, but gardeners' tactics to encourage the eradication of pests. But symbiosis speaks in defense of your kind, the overseer continues, and took effort to convince us that you were sentient and capable of communication. You present us with a quandary. You come from the stars, refugees of a catastrophe of your own design, one that you are intent to recreate here on a planet which still bears the scars of the last time it was used carelessly. So we ask, what are we to do with you? Wow. They're not wrong, per se. And the problem is, I would love to say we can change, but there are certain ones that don't want to change. Honestly, a big part of me is like, yeah, you have every right to kill us. Hold on. Just naming these random things. I mean, some of us can change. Eee! Screw you. I'm going home. Humans can change. I guess I'll try to keep us alive. So we teach your kind to be stewards of nature, the overseer replies. Perhaps your children take up the mantle as well, and their children. But soon you are dead, as are your children's children. Generations pass, no one alive remembers the time the gardeners came to the humans and taught them the proper ways to live. And now there are too many of you to teach, and your behavior too entrenched. What then? Genocide? You have no answer. There is silence in your head, and you only hear the sound of water trickling down the cave walls and the gentle hum of the machines. Eventually, the overseer speaks in your mind one last time. For now, you may leave freely. We will consider this quandary, and we will be monitoring you and the other humans. You feel a strange pull at your consciousness as you remove your hands from the interface. There you have it, Sim murmurs. That is my boss. I'm terrified. Sim nods sadly. That is the correct response. That's why I wanted you to know the truth. He walks over and runs his hand over the consoles. And now you know how to connect to the array, he says quietly. But you should not come here unless I am with you. Sim takes your hands and looks at you solemnly. When you interface with the array, you hold everything we are in your hands. It took a great deal of negotiating to convince my fellow gardeners to trust you with this power. Please do not prove this trust mistaken. Got it. Don't tell anybody about you, and don't touch the array without you. This is not good. Oh, I can't get over there. Any big quests up here? Nope. I keep going down the wrong path. Go on this one. Aww. Alright, let's go home. Boy, I need to learn some stuff. This is not good. No matter what, I'm not going to be able to really up my engineering, organizing, reasoning. But if I can up my persuasion, maybe I can talk them into not murdering all of us. Congruence tells you that today you'll be learning about the history of capitalism on Earth. You mean why humans used to have nice things and now we just eat mashed trippet and soy cakes? Mars says smugly. Please. Earth humans might have messed everything up, but at least they had style. Every patient congruence ignores Mars. Oh, ever patient. Congruence ignores Mars' contribution and projects a holovid into the classroom. A solemn woman in weird clothes identifies herself as Haven Constance Odenheim, an educational designer for the Vitumna group, and tells you that the following experience has been created specifically to teach you, the third generation of the group, about the largest contributing factor in Earth's destruction, capitalism. Well, shit. You and the other students exchange worried looks. You spend the day in an interactive experience that covers the history of capitalism, from market feudalism to its transition to colonialism, then its major phases like industrialism, mass production, corporatism. Yeah, that looks about right. It ends with a discussion of how it collapsed in the late 21st century as wealth inequality and environmental concerns finally weakened its hegemony? Hegemony? I don't know what that word is. Along with the planet itself. Yeah. Yeah. The educational experience tells you that, despite being regarded by many as simply an economic system, capitalism had been responsible for more violence on Earth than any act of war. I don't know about that. From its very beginnings, as the colonial power spread mercantilism across the globe, it required a constant supply of people to exploit through any means necessary. It took centuries for people to realize how horrible capitalism was. Once, people could no longer hide from its racist, colonialist history. You're partway through the lesson when Cal realizes the parallels. But we live in a colony, don't we? Aren't we colonizing Vertumna? Isn't that wrong? Of course not, dummy, Mars reasons. There aren't any people here to take the land from, just a bunch of animals. The animals count too. Cal nods in agreement, but Mars is not impressed. I squashed a Dorbsmoth the other day, she retorts. Are you going to put me in future jail for money crimes? Yikes, Solana. You should just lock yourself in your room if you're so worried about hurting the environment. Tangent watches this exchange silently, but turns her head and doesn't meet your eye when you look at her. Oh, good old Mars. Shoot. Well, we made it. Didn't look pretty, but we still made it. We are getting really close to glow season. And that's a little bit worrying, being that supposedly the game ends at age 19. Cute. Cal, do you have anything to say? No? Okay, I'm going to continue learning on persuasion because I feel like we might need it soon. You're studying the topic of how justice has been mediated by various legal systems, culminating in a mock trial based off of a legal system of your own design. You're supposed to use your broad knowledge to design the best system, but no one in class can resist adding their own bizarre rules, like not being able to use certain words or having to beat your accuser in a foot race before you're allowed to defend yourself. It's good fun, but not exactly a shining moment in the history of justice. 12. 6, 6, 5, 10. Nice. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, Tang, you want to talk? Tangent is deep in conversation with one of the other scientists. He seems to be consoling her, though Tangent's face betrays no emotion as he claps her on the shoulder and reassures her that she's doing really well for someone so young, and that everyone compromised some of their samples when they were first learning. He leaves and Tangent sighs as she goes to put her head in her hands, stopping short when she realizes she's still wearing gloves. She peels them off and digs her fingers into her eyes. You okay? I'm fine, Tangent replies immediately. I compromised an experiment I was working on because the vent was still open when I was spraying the workstation down with sanitizer. She sniffs. It's so gross here, she says. I probably did that fungus a favor. Tangent takes a bottle of sanitizer from under her workbench and cleans while she speaks. There are pollen spores everywhere, she whines. And he comes over here and tells me it'll be okay, Tang, like it's his job to console and patronize me. But it is okay to make mistakes. Tangent shoves the sanitizer back under her workbench. Don't you understand? She says, frustration seeping into her voice. If we never feel the pain of failure, if there's no cost to it, why would we ever improve? I need to own to my mistakes. What I don't need, she continues icily, is someone to pat me on the head and tell me it's okay and the adults will make it all better. I messed up, she says. Just let me fix it. Don't make a big deal about it like I'm a child with a boo-boo. Dang, all right. Chill. Anybody want to talk? Anybody want to chit-chat? Nope. Let's go see if Sim has anything else for us before all shit hits the fan. Good, Sim wants to talk. You're trekking through the wilderness when something catches your eye. To anyone else, it'd simply be a weird depression between two roots, but it pings something in your memory. Isn't this what the entrance to the Overseer Cave looked like? You decide to check it out. Your hunch is correct. The depression opens up into a passageway just big enough to wiggle your body through, then widens even more to reveal a familiar door. You quietly push it open. The room you enter is not unlike the one where you interface with the array. There is a vat in the corner emitting a soft organic glow, and another computer panel slowly being reclaimed by the rock wall. It's not hard to assume the planet is lousy with rooms just like this one, where Sim and the other gardeners can rest and respawn if needed. This one, however, is not empty. You enter to find Sim, who is, aptly so, as naked as the day he was born. He is stepping out of the regeneration vat, clad only in strands of bioluminescent goo that slide down his long limbs and patter to the ground. Sim's back is to you, treating you to a glimpse of skin usually hidden under layers of tattered dark fabric, the knobs of his spine and shoulder blades visible under his inhuman musculature. He looks unusually delicate and vulnerable. He reaches up and gently wrings out his thick hair, humming a song you recognize from the Hollow archives. As if sensing the weight of your gaze on his body, he pauses and slowly turns his head. Solana, he says softly, I didn't see you come in. Sorry to bother you. It's no bother, Sim replies, looking down at himself, if it does not bother you. Now that you know the truth about the gardeners, Sim continues, we can be far more free with our words. He gestures to the regeneration vat. I have very few secrets from you now. You can come take a closer look if you'd like. After a beat, he clarifies. A closer look at the vat, I mean. You walk over and check out the vat. The air gets noticeably warmer the closer you get, like sunlight on your face, and there's a faint organic smell that's not unpleasant. The vat itself looks like something you'd find in engineering, but seems to be constructed entirely out of natural materials, spongy-looking fungal growths, mineral deposits, and pulsating vine-like umbilicals. You can touch it, Sim says. It's not dangerous. You sit on the lip of the vat and run your fingertips across the surface of the glowing liquid. A slight electric charge prickles up your forearms, and you feel the frisson of a link to the array. Sim sits down beside you, now fully dressed. His fingers alight on the surface of the liquid as well, and you feel a slight presence at the edge of your mind, like a thought you can't reach. I'm glad we can talk freely now, he says. Is there anything you wish to know about me or the gardeners? What's it like to be... This is an odd question, because I feel like this is where we're headed. Dying and being reborn, what's that like? Reborn isn't the right word, Sim answers. It's more like reopening a program after a system crash. Everything is still there, perfectly preserved, except for whatever I added since the last time I saved my work. Functionally, it feels more like teleportation. As for dying, Sim continues, frowning a little as he considers the thought. Well, I'm certain that dying can be extremely painful. Depends on the death, I assume. He touches his chest. I have no memory of the moment of death, though I have died many, many times, he says. In that, we are the same. I've never died. Yet. How many gardeners are there? Sim thinks for a few seconds. It's hard to say, he answers. There are theoretically an infinite number of instances of the software that comprises a gardener. It's not uncommon for a particular instance, such as myself, to go dormant, possibly for thousands of years. He stretches out his fingers and looks at them, then at you. And many gardeners, such as the overseer, find they do not need to take a physical form at all. There are only a handful like myself who do. How old are you? That question has many answers, Sim replies with a slight smile. This consciousness has ultimately been in existence for over 20,000 years, since the creation of the gardeners. But that means very little. I certainly don't have 20,000 years' experience as a bipedal anthropomorphic organic capable of speech. And this body, he says, gesturing to himself, why, it is only minutes old. Did you die again and then you were just regenerated? Tell me more about the gardeners. Sim sighs. Compared to the gardeners, humanity is short-sighted. You're often unable to conceptualize present or future beyond your own lives, or those of your direct descendants. Gardeners think on a much larger scale. I once spent 400 years as a mush tree just to avoid talking to a gardener whose methods I disagreed with. How petty, I like it. He smiles. Juvenile, I know. But when your memory spans tens of thousands of years, 400 years is trivial. And it has given me a true appreciation for all life, one that goes deeper than I can describe. When I tell you that the gardeners are Vertumna, I mean it quite literally. It is almost noon. It's almost lunchtime. Um, do you like being a gardener? Does the wind like being wind? Sim answers. I'm sorry to be cryptic after I told you I would not, but there really is no other way to answer that question. I am what I was created to be, he continues. There is a beauty in that, and a clarity of purpose that makes me feel fulfilled. I do not experience existential angst like a human does. So, what should we, do? If I knew the answer, I would tell you, Sim replies, placing his hand on top of yours. Ah! Why? Ah! I have to manually throw things. My thingy isn't working. Pragmatically, I do agree with the other gardeners. He continues, if our purpose is to protect the biosphere of Vertumna, and humanity poses a threat to that, then by the letter of our own design, humanity must be eradicated. However, he sighs and looks away. I love humanity. I think you are all an incredible species, and it would be a shame to destroy you. I feel like doing so would be a violation of the spirit of the Convergent Domain's last decree. And perhaps, he murmurs, redeeming you will be the greatest act of love we could perform in the name of our imperfect creators. Sim nods. Please know that you can come to me at any time, and I will do my best to answer, he says. However, I must apologize for something, Sim says abruptly. I simply must. May I touch you? At our questioning look, Sim blushes and turns his head away. This body is new, he murmurs, and all of its senses are heightened. I confess I find myself unable to stop myself from wondering what it would be like to touch another while I am vulnerable to sensation like this. Uh, oh, okay. Sim looks delighted as he reaches out and pets your hair, running his fingers through the fine strands. Marvelous, he says. Truly a texture I've not been able to replicate in my own bodies. He runs his thumb over your eyebrows, then your cheekbone. His fingers dance down the bridge of your nose, then lightly into the dip of your philtrum, across your lips to pause on your chin. Sim's gaze drops to your mouth as his own lips part with an unspoken question. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm dating someone. Sim's eyes narrow in thought. Yes, that is a concern for certain humans, isn't it? He murmurs. I was not aware you felt the same. My apologies. Sorry, Sim. In another playthrough, mayhaps. He stands and takes a deep breath. I would like to go outside, he announces. Have you ever swam in the lake nearby? It's incredible, especially when my senses are heightened. I love the feel of the sun and water on my skin. He smiles down at you. You're welcome to join me if you like. Can I give you a flower? Oh, no, I can get cards, though. Did you bring what I asked? Sim is standing in the shadows, wrapped up in his clothes like he's trying to blend into the jungle. He looks like a vid actor pretending to be shifty. You guess he's asking about the data he asked you to smuggle out of engineering. Dang, we're just now giving him this? Holy crap. I've got the data. I knew it, Sim exclaims. I dreamed about it last night in my vat. Here, it's yours. You hand over the data drive, and Sim takes it reverently, staring as if he could see what's inside. Marvelous, he says. Like a genetic payload, except with the digital data instead of organic. What will I learn from this trove, I wonder? You're still puzzling over the implications of the phrase, genetic payload? As he continues, the other gardeners are so tedious and obsessed with their work, he complains. They're more concerned with maintaining equilibrium than experiencing new things. They don't understand that novelty is what makes life interesting. He slips the data drive into his sleeve. Thank you, Solana. I will treasure this. I can take a look. Solana, Sim greets you warmly. My favorite human. What can I do for you? What about Diz? Aren't you friends with Diz, too? It's only fair that you observe Sim in the same manner that he often observes you, intently and while behind a tree. You pretend to leave, then double back and watch him from a short distance away. You hope you'll see what he does when you aren't around. Sim looks like a human, if an alien had to draw a human entirely from written description. Too tall, too long, his eyes too black, his whole posture too weirdly attentive. His hair is the most interesting part, so perfectly kept for someone who seems to live in the wilderness, and sometimes you swear it moves in ways hair shouldn't. Like the first time you saw a time lapse video of a flower turning towards the sun. You watch in silence for nearly 10 minutes, but Sim does absolutely nothing. He tilts his head like he's listening to the wind, then he leans over to stare at a random patch of grass for far too long. Eventually, he turns to stare straight at the spot you're hiding. He purrs. Do you like what you see, Sugarbug? I'm just looking. He tosses his long hair over his shoulder and extends his hands, baring himself for your inspection. It's not a crime to be curious, he says. Why, I find myself very curious about you. You look your fill now that he's offered. You find yourself constantly drawn back to his deep silver eyes and the hypnotic motions of his hair. And within moments, you find yourself more relaxed. Sim's faint smile fills your vision, blanking out the rest of your senses. Do not be alarmed, he says. His voice sounds like it's coming from the bottom of a well. I have the ability to induce a mild sedative effect in organic creatures. I find it useful in reducing their cortisol levels so that I may tend to them more easily. If you find it soothing, I would be happy to use it on you at your request. You have simply to ask. Okay, can I give you a flower? Did you know, Sim asks, we gardeners are each assigned a specific domain. My peers, Noctilucens, is invasive predatory animals. You would be best not to put humans in that category. He doesn't say what domain he has been assigned. I giveth you... Wait, cake! He's probably never had cake. A cake, Sim exclaims. A most wonderful human invention. He turns it around in his hands, sniffs it, then takes a fingerful of frosting and puts it in his mouth. Fantastic, he shouts as he hands the cake back to you. I enjoyed that immensely. I hope the others you share it with will like it as much as I did. Cool. I didn't figure it'd be right to give him a flower, because, like, you know, he's not exactly a flowery kind of guy. I mean, he is, but, like, he lives out here in nature. He probably doesn't like me pulling up the flowers. All right, let's go home and learn some things before... Oh, no! Oops. I should have done more. I spent the month exploring and didn't actually do anything, and now it's glow. Oh, boy. Doors closed? Yep, doors are closed. Anybody around? No, I think everybody's inside. Oh, nope, there's Diz. There's Nem and Vase. There's Tang. Okay. Diz, anything to say on this glow? It's like an entirely different planet in glow, Diz says, smiling softly out into the illuminated wilderness. It's my favorite season, full of secrets and danger. Yeah, that seems right up your alley. Cal, protect me. Cal reaches up and strokes one of the native plants in the garden, its light reflecting onto his awestruck face. When we landed here, we didn't even know this was possible. What else don't we know about this place? Alright, well, I'm going to tend to the animals. No, I'm not. I'm going to come over here and learn one more time while I wait. Congruence teaches you about the history of computing and artificial intelligence. It's hard to believe that people didn't have computers for thousands of years. How did they look anything up? How did they watch videos? Can't imagine life in the colony without congruence. Yeah, that's like kids nowadays don't understand, like, what life was like before cell phones or the internet. God, remember when you'd have to sit there and a picture would load, like, line by line because you were on dial up? 5, 4, 4, 2, 2. You know what? I got plenty. Push through. 30 stress. It's fine, because it's about to be glow anyway. You're heading to bed when the sirens begin to wail, heralding the beginning of the yearly xenofauna attack. Outside your window, you see the soldiers begin to form up. This year, Nem is heading up her own squad. You see her red hair bobbing along with the others as she rushes to defend the walls. Oh, Nem, don't I don't want to see you go the way of your brother. I said glove, not glow. Okay, we're gonna rush out after her. I saved, so Nem looks at you in surprise, but nods when she sees you ready to fight. Someone hands you a plas rifle, and you join her squad on the walls. You stand shoulder to shoulder with Nem and watch the Xenos mass on the far side of the fire break. Look at them all, she says darkly. They just keep coming, more and more every year. What are they even waiting for? Why don't they just attack already? She shoots a look at the rest of her squad, all of them Helios, mostly young adults like you, and lowers her voice. I just want to get it over with, she confides in you. These Helios learned to march before they could walk. I want to prove I can handle myself as well as they can. Nem, you're going to get yourself killed, trying to be stupidly brave. She runs her fingers down the barrel of her plas rifle, where she stenciled the name Kombucha. A lowing from the forest draws your attention, back to the enemy line. The wall of animals is approaching in eerie unison, their footsteps drumming a rumbling tattoo across the ground. Nem clutches her rifle tightly. Okay, here goes. The animals approach the wall at a steady pace, but stop short of the walls. Instead, they mill around outside the colony near the garrison. In the eerie silence, you hear the sudden crackle of a plas rifle fire, and a flying creature falls to the ground. You hear Security Chief fret from his post on the walls, telling his squad to hold their fire. His voice rings through the still, expectant air. The Xenos are just standing there. Then an explosion rocks through the colony, the shockwave hitting you like a physical blow, and then the heat right after, like walking into a wall of fire. You're pelted with debris raining down from the sky. A column of smoke billows from a burning section of wall near the garrison. From the thick belt of shock that ripples through the colony, you can't imagine it was on purpose. Nem recovers first, letting out a strangled war cry. Those assholes, she yells. They knew our weakest point. How? She gestures to the flood of Xenos pouring through the gaping hole in the wall. There, she orders. Protect the gates. Shoot them from the walls. What's that in the sky? You duck as something huge whooshes over your head, buzzing the top of the wall. Nem's Helio-born soldiers all train their rifles on it, but she yells at them to stand down. It's Socks, she cried. Get behind it. It'll block the Xenos from coming in. Oh no, don't kill Socks. The giant dilly pillar lands in the square, her sinuous body looping around and forcing the Xenos to enter in the smaller waves. Cal is riding on her back, and he shoots you a little smile before guiding her closer to the breach. Cal! I swear to God if Cal gets hurt, or Socks. Oh my God. I'm worried. 5, 4, 3. Starting off low. It's okay. We got 5, 4, 4, 2. Oh boy. Now we got 11, 10. Shit. 9. Oh boy. 10, 9, 9. Nice. We got it. The Xenos pour through the smoking hole in the wall, wave after wave of creatures of all sizes, fist-sized insects all the way up to megafauna like bushbubs and muckwalkers, great lumbering beasts the likes of which you've never seen. The largest ones soak up the gunfire and smash through the defenders on the ground, while the smaller, faster creatures make for the ship and the geoponics domes. Cal and Sox do what they can, but are soon forced to retreat by the swarm of Xenos. As your squad is getting in the rhythm of defense, Governor Lum storms up the steps. You can see the whites all around his furious eyes as he grabs both you and Nem by your shirt fronts, almost hauling you off your feet. Which one of you did it? He growls. Which one of you set the bomb? Wasn't us, Nem exclaims, clutching Lum's forearm. Lum releases you with a snarl. It had to be an inside job. Someone with access to the garrison. One of you stratocolonists, he spits. You're all traitors to humanity. He looks burned, possibly bad. Parts of his uniform are still smoldering. You wonder if he and his squad were near the explosion. If people are dead because of it. He rounds on Nem. Give me command of your squad, he orders. I'm taking them down to the courtyard to engage the enemy directly. I took a chance on you, Anemone, but you can't be trusted, just like the rest of them. My squad, Nem stammers. She looks conflicted. Lum is the governor and outranks her as a soldier, but he's Lum. His plan is bound to be dangerous or even suicidal. The rest of the squad are helioborn, yes, but they're also just teenagers like you. Don't you need us up here, supporting defenders from the walls? She chances to suggest. We're more useful up here. Lum doesn't look convinced, but your support emboldens Nem. She stands up straighter and hardens her expression. I can't send my people into close combat, she says firmly. We're trained for range defense, not melee. The governor looks at your squad mates, but none of them make a move to follow him. He curls his lip in disgust and stalks away. Your squad stays on the wall, providing range support for the people fighting below. The air is thick with smoke and chaos, but when it clears, you can tell that, against all odds, the defenders have regained the upper hand. The courtyard is littered with bodies, human and Xeno both, and in the distance you can see that the geoponics domes are shattered and part of command is on fire. The colony was staggered by the explosion, the attack from within. In the quiet following the battle, the colony comes out of hiding to gather in the courtyard, surveying the damage. Governor Lum is on the warpath. If I find out, I'll find out who did it, and I'll have their goddamn head, he yells. I want every single strato lined up in questions. Those were our explosives. I want to know who set that goddamn bomb. You and everyone from the strato are hauled aside and questioned on your whereabouts prior to the attack. Everyone, that is, except Diz. He's nowhere to be found, dead or alive. Diz, what did you do? We made it! Game ends at the age of 19. Oh boy! Yellow cards get +1 in social challenges. Nice. Okay. So, let's see. Nobody wants to talk. Not even Cal? Cal, you don't want to chit-chat? Let's give you an egg. You like eggs. Alright, let's go see if we can find Diz. With the little that we have of our stress not being too stressed. I'm assuming he's probably hanging out with Sim. Or at least maybe we can ask Sim if he's seen him. Okay, well, he's not with Sim. Or at least so far that we see. Sim nods as you approach. Just the human I wanted to see, he says with a solemn smile. The Overseer would like to speak to you again. Sim leads you to the same cave as before. Nothing has changed, and you get the impression that nothing much does change here. You place your hands on the handles of the array and wait. We have thought over our conversation, you feel the Overseer in your mind. We considered that symbiosis may be corrupt and in need of reabsorption, but his affection for your species is genuine. So we have an offer to make you. Humans wield godlike powers, but lack the capacity to understand the consequences of their actions, the overseer explains. You have no connection to the land you claim beyond the short, brutal window of your consciousness. Our offer is this. We will not eradicate your colony. Instead, you will be tended to, just as the gardeners tend to the rest of the planet. You will be given fresh water, clean air, and good soil, and be protected from outside harm. In exchange, humans will stay within their colony and limit their population growth so as to maintain the balance within the habitat. You will not leave this territory to procure more resources. You will cease all hunting, logging, and expansion outside of your valley. What, like a human nature reserve? More or less, the overseer responds. You are a curiosity to us, as well as a sentient species. We would like to preserve you without endangering the ecological balance of the planet. Now you will go and convince the others of your species to agree to our compromise. I mean, I'll try. I mean, I guess that's a. I mean, Lum isn't going to go for it for sure, but that guy needs to be assassinated anyway. I'll try. You say you don't know if there's any way to convince Governor Lum to agree to this. The overseer seems to accept this. An envoy will visit in glow season to discuss it formally, he replies. To be clear, an armed envoy. We suggest making yourselves look non-threatening by then. Sim gives you a slight smile. That seems like it went well, he says. I fought hard for them to consider options other than eradication. I'm glad that my trust in you was correct. As Sim leads you back to the surface, you quietly wonder at him, whichever. This man, or rather this ancient artificial intelligence resembling a man, has pushed his directives to the limit to help humanity. His interest started with mere curiosity, but over time he's come to love humans and value your survival. Has he made a mistake? Alright, well that didn't help me find Diz. So let's see if we can find him somewhere out here. Also, does this mean I shouldn't be harvesting any of this stuff? Oh, no Diz there. I'm going to harvest it until it tells me otherwise. Diz, are you over here where there's... Oh, no, that's Utopia. Like the rest of the planet, the valley is home to some strange plant and animal life. You find Utopia puzzling over a jelly arch, a huge gelatinous arch held together by solid veins, large enough for a person to walk underneath. They don't look like animals, but you've been around long enough to realize that things aren't always what they seem. Upon closer inspection, the arches seem to pulse and breathe, even though they have no visible organs, and they're always kind of warm. It's unsettling. Now, I know this one ain't right, Utopia mutters to herself as you approach. Solana, you ever seen a jelly arch look so deflated? You take a look. It's true, this arch doesn't seem as structurally sound as the others. I'm beginning to think they're all connected, Utopia says, scratching her chin. Like runners underground, poking up every so often in waves like this. If one's looking rough, what's going to happen to the rest? She sticks her hand in the goop, and the arch seems to cringe away as she roots around in its innards. It's got some kind of crystal structure in here suspended in it, she says, sticking her tongue between her teeth. Wonder if it's got its nose knocked out of joint, or whatever it's got instead of a nose. The jelly arch makes a sloshing, groaning noise, its surface rippling with pain. Can it even feel pain, or is it just a reaction to being churned up inside? Offer her a crystal? Utopia hums. It can't hurt, she says, and shoves the crystal into the gelatinous mass of the arch. The arch stiffens, and Utopia shouts in alarm. Dang thing's got my arm, she exclaims. She gets her foot on the jelly arch, no longer as permeable, and hauls her arm out of it. Whoo, she laughs. That'll teach me to go sticking my hand places. The jelly arch looks more healthy now, standing up proud and wibbly again. Great thinking, Solana, Utopia says. Who would have thought? I thought. That's why I'm here, right? Okay, is this Diz? Hold on, let me just... Okay. Diz! You spot a juvenile squeeger queen. You spot a juvenile squeeger queen all on her lonesome. She's still mobile, but she's moving very slowly, digging around in the dirt here and there, licking the ground, possibly looking for a place to take root and live out the rest of her life. This might be an opportunity to capture a living hive, maybe. You could convince it to take root in one of the barns in the colony, giving the colony a source of honey without so much dangerous foraging. It spits acid if you get too close, and they have a nasty, powerful beak. No wonder no one's managed to catch one. Let's try and trick it. I think this is something we should have done early on, and we just haven't. 6. Oh, nope, I don't want that. 7, 8, 5. It's close. Uh, 6. Oof. That is not good. I don't want to use that one. I don't have any gems. This is I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. We are basically a group of kids. It starts out when you're like little kids that your families crash land on this planet. They came from Earth. Earth is like in destruction. Come from what? And then you crash land on this planet. And we are now 19, and it says the game ends at 19. What? Go. You need to go next year. Trust me, the drive is worth it. I think I have to drive farther than you do to go. Nom, nom, nom. Don't mind my crunching. I don't know why I shoved a piece of rice cracker in my face right now. Even though, I guess it depends. 2 hours and 45 minutes for some people isn't very, like, far. But, like, even still, definitely get a hotel. And when hotel blocks open, definitely try to get one of the ones that's right across from the con. It is a little bit more expensive, so if you have friends and you can, like, split the cost, that's better. But being able to walk back to your hotel is so nice. 11. 6. 6. 3. 4. Booyah! You're up north? Oh, I know where you are. Mostly blind, the Squeecher Queen is oblivious to your ulterior motive. You spend an entire day subtly leading her in the right direction. She's like an incredibly slow turtle who keeps stopping to lick the ground for some reason. It's super boring. Cal meets you at the gates to receive the Queen. Your Majesty, he jokes, bowing deeply. I'll make sure she gets settled in, he says to you. Come by and visit her anytime you want. And now I'm too stressed. I must go home. We never did find Diz. The investigation into the bombing during the Glow attack continues all month. Governor Lum and his goons can't find a way to pin it on any of the Stratos, and over time, people come to accept that Diz was probably the culprit. The rumor doesn't make anyone feel better, but it does take the heat off the others, including yourself. As usual for this time of year, your dreams have been more vibrant and invasive. You have trouble distinguishing dream from reality during the day, and you dread falling asleep at night. Huh? How did that hot bike get into your bedroom? Follow it. It's a sign. You chase it out your balcony door and find yourself on a thickly wooded path, the mushwood pressing in close on every side. The light is weird here, pink and glittering, casting teal shadows. The hop-eye disappears down a hole in the ground, and without thinking, you dive after it, squeezing your shoulders to fit through. You tumble into a cave, beautiful and surreal, shimmering with a light that seems to come from within. When you take a step forward, granules of pink sand crunch underfoot. The cave opens out to a forest that seems lifted from a fairy tale. The sunlight beams through breaks in the trees, illuminating a path of mushroom-ringed stepping stones that lead you to a small cottage. You spot the hop-eye hurrying further down the path. Follow the hop eye. Where is it leading? Where are you taking me, lassie? Past the cottage is a field dotted with hunched over figures. You watch them tend the crops with simple robotic motions, not caring as you tromp through their work. Their straw hats and overalls look tattered, and when you pass close to one, you realize they're not human at all. They're made of metal. Sightless glass eyes stare back at you, metal faces pockmarked with rust. The rasp of their terrible creaking floods your ears like a cloud of cicadas. Grabs you by the wrist. Its grip is painful, bringing you to your knees in the loamy dirt. Pushes you down, down, planting you like a seed. The ground swallows you, and you can't even cry out. You're falling. You land hard on solid ground, your breath whooshing from you. It's hot here, impossibly hot. The twin suns beat down on you, burning your skin on contact, and the air is almost painful to breathe. In all directions stretches a barren wasteland of dead trees like bones puncturing the dry skin of the planet. You land hard on solid. Oh, wait, we already read that. You rise from the dusty, cracked earth and begin to walk, stumbling over the bones of unknown creatures. You don't know where you're walking, only that the horizon doesn't change. The red sky just stretches overhead like a great bowl of heat pressing down on you. A great a great roar shakes you, and you turn to see a chimeric nightmare, a manticore, but with Governor Lum's face. He towers over you from a podium, his claws clacking and his tail thrashing as he proselytizes. Proselytizes? That's a word I don't know. We, primeval forests felling, he chants. We, the rivers stemming, piercing deep the mines within. We, the surface broad surveying. We, the virgin soul upheaving. Overhead, the sky is streaked with smoke. You hear a rumbling in the distance. Stand to face it. You plant your legs and refuse to look away from the beast. With a yell from behind you, Mars appears and swings a sword made of light at the Lum abomination. Its head rolls across the dirt, but it continues to speak. You turn from the scene and walk away, feeling the memory of it cling to you as you push and claw your way through to another reality. You stumble forwards into a dark, glowing forest. Blessedly cool air brushes your cheeks, thick with moisture and making your face wet as if you've been crying. The path wends upwards, flanked by humanoid figures carrying candles. Some are wearing robes, some armor, some lab coats and enviro suits and formal wear. Some are elderly and some barely 10 years old. All turn to look at you, and you realize with a jolt, they're you. Every single one of them is you. You see yourself reflected in their eyes as they gaze upon you dispassionately, a line of possibilities stretching out as far as you can see. The hop eye crouches between the ranks and gazes solemnly out as you pass. You walk steadily upward, feeling their unflinching gaze follow you. Overhead, the wormhole hangs in the sky like an overripe fruit, bending the heavy branch of space and time towards you. It's so close you feel as if you could touch it. You stretch your hand out, seeking. And you wake up. Gain status, insomnia. Milky, quiet sunlight pours through your window. Flakes of bromide snow piling up against the glass. You feel as tired as when you went to bed. It's your birthday. You're 19 years old. Only one more year as a teenager. Anybody want to talk? Chit chat? Yeah? No? Perhaps not? No. Alright. I have to rest. I have 100% stress. I don't think we're going to see Diz out here, but we'll check. No? Okay. Do, 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 do. Relax in the park. You play with your Hop-Eye Optimus Prime while you hang out in the gardens. They're pretty well behaved, never straying too far into the underbrush and always coming back when you call their name. Another Hop-Eye shyly approaches out of the long grass. Your Hop-Eye goes totally still, then lets out a happy chitter and bounces off to greet the stranger. They touch noses, then hop around each other twice. They disappear for a few minutes into the underbrush, long enough that you begin to get concerned. Finally, Optimus Prime bounces back to you and nuzzles against your leg. They want to be picked up and cuddled, so you pop them underneath your shirt and carry them like a baby the rest of the way. Doll. That's not a bad card, actually. Oh, I forgot. I can go and sell some of my cards. Oh, nobody cared about my birthday? Not even my boyfriend, Cal? Damn. All right, then. Wait. I don't remember where it was that I can sell my lower cards. Is it up here? Oh, fuck that. That's a terrible idea. Well, let's get some more cake. It's like honestly like the only thing I use my money for is to buy cake. Is it over here that I can get rid of some of my other cards? Aha, the spa. Alright, let's see. What can I get rid of? 8, 6, 5, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4. Okay. Let's get rid. Okay, let's get rid of the 1 for starters. Oh shoot, I forgot it costs money. Ah, that was bad. Oh well. Alright, let's gain some more persuasion, because we're going to have to persuade everybody to do the right thing. I love the art style in this game. Like, I'm so obsessed with it. Like, it's so pretty. Mars and Tang are late for humanities class a lot this month. You try to ask them what's up, but they only exchange glances and change the subject. They were roommates. Goddamn locked cards. Eh. 4, 3, 5, 4, 4. Oh, damn it. Push through. Good enough. I'm okay with the stress. Alright, so now I have to try and convince everybody. I wonder if I just have to talk to them. I'm busy saving the colony, Tang says, brushing past you. What are you doing? Alright, fine. Oh, wait, maybe I do have to bring that to Lum. Wait, maybe if we talk to Cal. Cal's pretty smart. Cal is sitting on the garden fence, his feet laced through the slats. As he balances a container of cut-up potato on his lap. Hey, Solana, he calls out. Time for a break? Come on over here and help me finish this. He skewers a piece of potato on his fork and drives it towards your mouth. Wow. Please don't ever. Beep, beep. Open up for a timely reminder that we made ourselves a part of this planet's ecosystem and have to deal with the consequences. Let's get out of here. Yeah, of course, I can always make time for you. Back to your quarters. Cal reaches over his head and stretches, and you hear all the bones in his back pop. Oh, he says, slumping inward like his strings have been cut. I'm beat up. How about you? What if we go back to yours and trade back rubs? I'll even do you first. Ah! Ah! Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was about to be. I was about to panic real bad. You and Cal adjourn to your quarters where, true to his word, Cal gives you a truly thorough massage before he even makes a move to take off his own shirt. Good, he murmurs, kissing your shoulder blade. It is good. Cal's hands are strong and calloused in just the right ways. My God, game, come on, calm down here, all right? You flop over and show off your noodle arms, and Cal laughs. I can wait, he says, wrapping his own arms around you and kissing you, as slow and indulgent as his hands were. I'm glad it wasn't more in-depth than that. Thank you, game, for taking pity on me. All right, well, that didn't work, so I think we have to talk to Lum. Governor Lum is staring into space, but snaps out of it as you enter the room. What is it, colonist? Okay, I'm gonna save because I don't know if this is a good idea or not. This dude's literally the frickin' worst. Lum rolls his eyes. Solana, buddy, there is no sentient life on Vertumna. We're it. Whatever you've seen out there, it's not like us. We're the rightful rulers of this planet, he continues. I'm not going to let some old garbage computer program stand between us and our destiny. He clenches his fist. We'll find a way to destroy them. We have to live. Tighten that shirt up, you slut. Yeah, he kind of reminds me, honestly, just like right here, kind of reminds me of Varric. But this guy is an absolute dickbag. We have to listen to them. See, think about being governor, Solana, Lum drawls. Is I don't have to do anything people tell me, especially not some strato kid like you. He dismisses you, but he might have a point. Disposing him as governor would solve a lot of problems. You know, Mars would be on board. Oh, Mars! What? I can't actually tell her about that? Mars is talking to a sharply dressed soldier. You watch her lean in and brush a bit of lint off of her uniform, looking up at her with a flirtatious smirk. You cough, and Mars sees you. She straightens up and gives you a businesslike smile. Hello, Solana, she says. Verbena and I were just talking about how the soldiers' quarters are starting to leak. Just terrible waking up wet, she says, and Verbana laughs awkwardly. Was there something you needed? Oh my god, the innuendo. Please. Uh, done. Well, that didn't help me. Can I talk to her here? No. How am I supposed to try and convince him if nobody wants to talk to me about it? Maybe I can find Diz. Diz might help. This game is I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Sim, nobody wants to listen to me. Oh no, Sim doesn't want to talk either. Sim, what do I do? I know what I want to do. I mean, this time, I get a card out of this. Love and Deep Space, cute and flowery edition. Actually, there's been a lot of deaths so far. My parents died. A child died in like the first like 20 minutes of the game. It's pretty interesting. Then there's this alien dude. The trauma makes it sexier. This time, you'll catch Sim doing something weird and alien. You send a survey drone to follow him and watch through your holopalm as he heads into the forest. I mean, I like trauma-based stories. I love me some hurt comfort fan fiction. He comes to a still pond and crouches by it, staring intently into the water. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he snatches an eel from the depths and bites its head clean off. Oh shit. Then he looks up at the drone and gives you a jaunty wave, as if he knew he was there all along. Wait, does Sim usually eat raw living animals, or was he just doing it because he knew you were trying to catch him doing something weird? Sim, have you seen Diz? Diz is missing. I don't know where he is. Diz. Damn it, Diz. Damn, he is like nowhere to be found. Uh-oh. Well, now it's pollen time. I don't know how to persuade anybody of anything. Where do I go? Who do I talk to? Can I talk to the people in geoponics? No. Shoot. Let's see if we can gain some more persuasion, maybe. This month, you learned about various education styles on Earth, from oral traditions to the first schools in Greece and China, to monastic education, to factory schooling, and the standardization of education. On Vertumna, everyone learns together, forming groups based not on age, but by interest and relative skill level. It seems a lot more human than shoving everyone into grades based on age and then just sending them out into the world once they're adults, regardless of what they have or haven't learned. Wow, what an interesting way to do school. 9, 7, 6, 4, 4. That didn't help me at all. How am I supposed to convince anybody? Rex, you don't... Wait, know me? Anything? No. Rex? Anything? No. Mars? Tell me about this again, but I don't think it's a lot of hard work. Okay, well that didn't help. Persuasion 40. All right, well let's just continue to raise our persuasion, I guess. I don't know what else to do. You learn that the language you speak, Esperanto, is conlang, or constructed language. It was designed to be easy for foreign speakers, at least European ones, to learn in the hope that it would bring people together. The word Esperanto means one who hopes. I didn't know we didn't speak English. I guess that's just how I figure, because the game has so far spoken to me in English. None of this is helping me and I'm getting worried. Small skills boost. Plus 5% to gain one extra skill. Okay. Face, Rex. Mars, anything yet? No? Okay. That also does not help. Wonder if my combat's higher, if I can just fight Governor Lum. My toughness is like super up there. Alright, we're gonna gain some combat skills. Not by talking to you, though. +2 combat. Yeah, let's do that. You and M are practicing judo moves, chucking each other into semi-deflated poof shrooms, which have been set up like mats. You're learning to throw, but also to fall properly without getting hurt. It's pretty fun. The enormous mushrooms are surprisingly springy, and you bounce right back up. Focus on learning. You take training very seriously, and so does Nem. You're a good match for each other. She's so focused, but she doesn't seem happy. Maybe she's throwing herself into this too hard, trying to live up to Com's memory. Maybe she's just scared of dying like he did. That's depressing. 7, 6, 6, 6, 4. Ooh, okay, it's Vertumnalia. Maybe we can get on stage and like push him off and like tell people that, you know, Governor Lum enters the colony square to his customary bombastic fanfare, brass band, red carpet, banners with Heliopause logo snapping in the hot dust breeze. It's disgusting. The governor gets his usual tithe of applause from die-hard soldiers, but it's obvious how tired and fearful everyone has become in service to his war. You catch Mars' attention. She rolls her eyes and makes a gagging motion. Cal looks sullen and withdrawn, refusing along with the rest of the geoponics to give Lum any applause. The governor raises his hands for silence, though it's largely unnecessary. Pioneers of Vertumna, he begins. We stand here today not shivering and quaking in fear, but with our hands around the neck, he makes a ringing gesture, of the planet herself. Before he can continue, Mars leaps from her seat and runs to the front of the stage. A ripple of fear goes through the crowd. You all remember what happened to Utopia last year. It doesn't have to be like this, she cries, speaking to the crowd. We don't have to listen to him. He's just a bully with a gun, like the ones we left behind on Earth. She turns to the council. Why are you just sitting there? Come on, aren't you going to do anything? The council look at each other. Rhett seems unmoved, and Utopia shrinks into herself, holding her hand to her chest. Aunt Anne looks concerned, but fearful of Lum. Instance is grim, and Seek just waits to see what happens. Only Cal looks enthusiastic, but as the youngest member of the council, he's outmatched. Lum gestures sharply to his guard, and Mars is seized and taken out of sight. In the uncomfortable silence that follows, the governor strides to the front of the stage and looks down on the crowd. As I was saying, you can trust me to lead this colony and humanity into a new era, he says. An era of peace and prosperity, where we no longer need to fear the creatures that come out in the night. He raises his fist to the sky. This planet is rich, he cries. It is the earth we were promised, unscarred by what mistakes of our forefathers. Here we will become what humanity has always strived to become, caretakers of a new garden, children of a new earth. People cheer, spurred on by Lum's display of dominance. Lum looks upon the crowd with pride. Pioneers, we're so close, he says. Soon this planet will be ours, and all her riches and wonders with it. But first, he continues, we need to adapt to the harsh realities of our current world. He gestures to the council. I know you all love your council, but it's time we thought about the future. We need to guard the colony leadership, he says with some disdain, against sudden upheavals, deaths, imprisonments, and the like. I've decided to instate a second position for each seat on council, he announces. Lum explains that every council member will take an official second in command. Seconds will be trained in the running of the department and will be ready to take over the department should the worst happen during an attack. The council looks concerned. Is this how Lum begins to cycle out the colonial government with a veneer of legitimacy? Applicants must have spent a minimum amount of time in the department and will be judged by the council based on their relevant skills, though Lum will likely argue hard for his Helio appointments. You scribble your name on the ballot for... I guess surveyor, probably? Utopia's a little guarded as you enter your name for consideration. Just so long as it's one of us, not one of Lum's lackeys, she says quietly. I can't trust one of them to have my back when I'm out in the wilderness. She shoots an acidic look at Rhett, who's looking chummy with the Helio soldiers. You win. You're second surveyor now. Utopia breathes a sigh of relief and gives you a hug. I'm happy it was you, sweets, she says. If something happens to me out there, I know the colony's going to be in mighty fine hands. Ooh, we got a card for 10. When the voting is concluded, Seek announces the names of those newly appointed seconds. The crowd cheers for you when Seek reads out your name as second surveyor. You don't recognize the Helio-appointed second administrator. Must be one of Lum's people. Vase is appointed to second security officer under Rhett. He gives a little speech, essentially congratulating himself and promising to single-handedly win this war. Tangent stands proudly in her rightful place at Chief Engineer Instance's side as her second. One of the Helio-born agriculturists is chosen as second cultivator. At least there's someone with actual geoponics experience, not someone Lum's installed in the position. The steward of the Heliopause joins Aunt Anne as her much-needed second steward. There's a lot of babies in the colony now, and someone has to help take care of them. After the politicking is over, The crowd adjourns to the feast tables and eventually the dance floor. The sun set on the long day, the heat breaks, and the party continues well into the night. After the festivities, it's straight back to work as usual. Everyone complains. You usually get at least a few days off after Vertumnalia, but Lum reminds you, the colony, that it's only a few short months before the next attack. Your dreams begin to increase in intensity as the wormhole draws closer to the planet. Filled with terrifying and confusing visions, a feeling of urgency dogs your steps, like you're running out of time. I know I am! But I don't know what to do. I've tried talking to everybody and nobody wants to talk to me about it. What if I talk to her now? Oh, that's just gonna give me a card. Damn. Alright, time to get combat ready because I'm gonna have to beat the hell out of Lum. Brett pairs you off to practice your sparring, partnering with Vase. You don't know Vase very well, but from the look of him, he seems like someone who'd like to use your face as a lesson. You see him posturing and preening for the other kids from the Helio, and for a handful of colony kids too, especially Nem. Oh, fight honestly and kick his ass. I don't care how many extra cards I have to use. I will absolutely annihilate this man. Oh, it gets -4 even if it's the last card? Okay, hold on a second. Why? I'm sorry. What'd I do? 11, 9, 8, 8, 3. 11, 10, 9. Damn it. Damn it. Hell yeah! I don't care how many of those extra cards I had to use. I will absolutely wipe the floor with Vase. He's an asshole. Vase isn't expecting much from you. His bravado crumples within the first few seconds, but those seconds of overconfidence cost him. You quickly get on the offensive, and clearly, defense isn't Vase's strongest skill. You get him to the mat so fast, it's embarrassing. When you let him up, he stalks away without even saying a word. Flex for Nem. Now, I don't want to be a bully. I'll just be a... I mean... Thank you, Randman, for the 100 bits. The 100 bits to suck it, Vase. I kind of don't want to be a gracious winner, though. I kind of want to rub it in, because he's kind of a dick. Vase is mad he's not the best anymore, isn't he? Wah. Vase gives you the finger as he disappears into the locker room. Give him one. Give him both. Both middle fingers right back. Fuck you too, bro. Nem liked it. I'm gonna steal your girl, Vase. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna steal your girl. Alright. Nobody wants to talk still. Oh, I don't think there was any other options to talk to him up here. No, there wasn't. Damn it. We are running out of time. Nope. Nothing I can do over here either. Alright, well, let's just continue to gain combat skills so that we can fight Lum. Something unexpected is waiting for you in self-defense class today. A fully grown manticore. What the fuck? When the shock wears off, you realize it's chained down so much that it can barely move at all. It's growling and chittering, maybe muffled behind a muzzle, but it still makes your guts go liquid in some primal fear. You walk over to Nem and Vase, who are standing a safe distance away. Nem seems leery, but Vase is considering it with his usual bravado. We're supposed to observe it, figure out its weaknesses, Vase says, leaning in for a closer look. I don't know, it doesn't look so tough like this. It's just an animal. A dangerous animal, Nem adds. Be careful. If it breaks loose. Vase scoffs and reaches towards the Manicore. Instead of attacking, the chained beast flinches away and gives a high-pitched whine, trying to get away from Vase. You notice that it's bleeding from a bunch of places on its hind end, pockmarked with burns and scrapes. You've never seen a manticore look so pathetic. Yeah, fuck you guys. That's kind of rude. Hate me all you want. That's fine. You point out the Manicore's wounds and how terrified it looks to be chained down like this. The security chief rolls his eyes and puppets his hand like yada yada yada. And what are we supposed to do, Solana? He says. Do you want to run into one of these beasts on your own with no experience? Am I supposed to send you out into the wilderness blind, unprepared? Rhett points at you. You should respect the work of the hunters who risked their lives to bring in this specimen, he reprimands you. Because of them, you and your friends here are less likely to die out there. With Rhett, it always comes down to life or death. But you can't just use dying as a scare tactic to get what you want. You tell him that, but he just goes red in the face and tells everyone that class is dismissed because someone objected to his methods. Vase and Nem scowl at you as they leave the courtyard. Yeah, well, fuck you guys too. I'm causing so many issues now. I don't have enough. Now I do. And now I must rest. Ooh, a crystal. Ooh, piece of candy. Alright, let's relax in the lounge. You nestle in the cushions, close your eyes, and listen to music. You have an archive of over 100 years of music to choose from, but still, you wonder what new songs they're writing these days, 10 million light years away on Earth. The only new music you've heard is when the adults have come up with a new space shanty. It's nice. Good music for harmonizing with your friends as you work, but it's not really something you want in your ears all the time. Let's get rid of the 2. Because we want more higher-based cards. Oh my god, we are so close to, like, the end, and I'm so worried because I have not convinced anybody of anything. But I can't really talk to anybody. Nobody wants to listen to me. We still haven't found Diz. Diz is still missing. Wonder if I survey if I can find him. Diz! Oh, there's Nomi Nomi. When you report for surveying duty, Nomi Nomi is here. It's their first day as a surveyor. They smile widely when they see you, smiling exuberantly. Oh, you do know each other already, Utopia says, looking to you, then Nomi. That'll make this easier. Solana, I'd like you to keep an eye on Nomi while you're out there, Utopia continues. I'm going to assign you to the same regions for the next little while. Just make sure they don't wander into a nest of snap bladders, okay? Yay, hooray! Nomi cheers and gives you a high five. As Utopia explains to Nomi Nomi and some other new Helio surveyors about the surveying tools, Nomi starts to get bored and wanders a little ways from the group. You see it happening, but are powerless to stop them from tripping and nearly landing in a nest of hop-eye eggs. They're just about to crash into the delicate spun glass cocoon when Utopia materializes as if out of nowhere and scruffs them by the back of the collar. Nomi, pay attention! Nomi giggles like they don't even realize the danger of being stampeded by the upset hop-eyes beginning to gather around. Utopia ushers them back to the group before things can get tramply. Nomi asks a million questions about the eggs. Are they edible? Do they have hard shells or soft? What is the cocoon made of? How long until they hatch? Utopia sighs. Just get out of here, you two, she says, before the cute little varmints turn ugly. Diz! Get to see if we can find Diz somewhere. He used to like coming out here, so I kind of thought maybe he'd be out here. Oop, pick that up. Oh, where's Sim? I didn't know you were going to be out here too, Sim. But I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for Diz. Have you seen Diz? Nope. Oh, that's Nomi. I was really excited. I thought that was Diz, but no, it's just Nomi. You hear Nomi shouting for help nearby. Run over! You sprint to the sound of distress. Nomi seems to have fallen headfirst into some kind of Nomi-sized flower. Is it eating them? It's engulfed Nomi's upper torso, its petals pulsing as it pulls them down further. You could use your plas cutter to cut them out of there, if you can figure out what part of this creature to cut without hurting Nomi. Nomi is struggling, and you hear muffled sounds of distress from inside. You have to try. Oh. I thought that was in-game, but that's actually just thunder right outside my house. 3, 3. Oh, wait. 3, 3, 4. Ooh, big thunder. 6, 6, 5, 4. Wait. Oh, god dang it. Why? Why are you like this? 8, 9, 8, 7, 4, 3. You delicately slice the lyre flower at the underside of the base of its flower, which you guess is the creature's neck. Up close, it actually looks more reptilian than plant-like, just a little thick, just a little nick, and the creature coughs and convulses. It's definitely interesting. There's different like colors of cards, and then each card has a number, but then it can also have something that goes along like at the underside. Like if you put it next to a yellow card, it might make it go higher or lower. And then on the right hand side, it tells you like what it has to equal out to in the end. But sometimes there's 3 like levels that you have to do, and sometimes there's only 1. It took me a little while to figure it out. Nomi spills forth in a flood of digestive juices. Ew, 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 yuck! My outfit! Stupid flower! Nomi stomps and shakes their fist at the flower, which lurches away on a fat snake-like body. Alright, well, we saved Nomi, but we still haven't found Diz. Diz, where the heck are you? Like, I don't want him to come back because they basically labeled him as the one who set off the big bomb that, like... So, like, I don't want to bring him back. I just want to find him. Like, where did he go? Let me get these before I do that thingy. Up, 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 up. You spot an enormous unfamiliar flower, large waxy petals joined to form a basin brimming with goopy yellow gunk. The entire thing has a sticky, melting look. The awful smell of the juice permeates the area. It's like something died in there. Drink the goop! No, I think I'll just wait and watch. One of the nearby bushes starts rustling. Oh, another bush bub. It approaches the plant and dips an arm into it, bringing it to its face and licking it. Then it sticks its head right in there and drinks. You try not to gag. Ugh. Yeah, for real. Just absolute unit of a tree monster dinosaur thing. After some long, deep gulps, the bush bub wanders away, looking slightly tipsy. All right, fine, drink it. If the smell is horrendous, the taste is indescribable. The moment it hits the back of your mouth, you start gagging and salivating uncontrollably. Throwing up is a relief. Despite your initial discomfort, when you're done emptying your stomach, you realize you feel incredible, like you've been totally cleansed inside and out. You feel invigorated. Oh, all your noise attracts a nearby bush bub. Comes scurrying out of the bush, growling, cackling at you. All right, I'll leave. Bush bub chases you off, then goes back to tend its stinky flower. All right, well, there's no Diz out here. Oh, man, this is bad. We have like one more month to try and convince people of anything. Oh, hi, Nomi. You find Nomi in the lounge, flanked by two hollow screens and doodling in a sketchbook with real paper. One hollow screen is playing an animated kids show, while the other is a wall of text that looks like it might be a translation guide of some kind. Heads up, it's starting to get a little, like, super rumbly outside, so if all of a sudden the stream goes down, I probably lost power. Just, like, as a heads up. Nomi's attention moves between the three easily. When they see you, they jump and quickly close their hollow screens, sitting up straight and clutching their sketchbook to their chest. Oh, hi, Solana! They giggle, rubbing the back of their head charmingly. How you doing? It's okay. You can watch cartoons here. Nomi relaxes a little, breathing an exaggerated sigh of relief. Good, because I really like cartoons. No! That is not true. And I'll be back tomorrow anyway. It's just, it's like really, it's not like dark, but it's definitely stormy out. Got the rumbles. Nomi sets their sketchbook aside and looks around conspiratorially. I thought you were going to bust me for jailbreaking my holopad, they say. No, I am... Wait, is there a big storm coming? I'm not in Kentucky, but... Is there a big storm? I should probably check the radar. I haven't really... I thought it was just supposed to, like, be thunderstormy. No, I don't see... Question mark anything? Oh, we do have a storm heading our way, though. It looks like it's going to hit at, like, maybe... What time does that say? 4 o'clock, it looks like. Jesus. That's a long way away to feel an earthquake. All the Helio kids have restrictions on what we can watch and for how long, but you guys have so many more cartoons than we had. Nomi throws their arms in the air. Like the first season of Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform. What? I love Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform. What? Nomi cries, slapping their hands to their cheeks. Really? I can't do Nomi's voice. Usually I do Nomi's voice pretty high pitched, but because of me being sick and like not having my voice, it's not working. It's the best cartoon ever made. What else has schoolgirls who like aircraft? Wait, what else has schoolgirls who look like aircraft from the waist down, battling even evil aliens while dealing with the stresses of high school life? You have to agree. You were pretty fond of the arc in the third season where Kamiya and Otoko disagreed about whether Haruka could truly be considered a hyperjet if she was part helicopter. What the fuck did I just read? The Helio Media Archive only had season 2 through 9 and only 3 of the OVAs. I don't know. Nomi says, puffing their cheeks out. I can't believe in the 4th OVA, Flight Captain Yumiko gets captured by the aliens and brainwashed into thinking she's been an alien sleeper agent the whole time. You hadn't seen the first season? Nomi shrugs and pokes one finger into their cheek. Spaceship kids make do. You don't have to know everything about something you like in order to call yourself a fan, Nomi continues. Just liking it with all your heart is good enough. Oh, it might be. It definitely might be. Nomi laughs and flips over their sketchbook, showing off some of their drawings. I was drawing some fan art for the show, they say. Well, it's kind of fan art. Okay, it's really more like if I was a character in Hypergirl Turbojet Transform. What kind of aircraft would you be? Nomi blinks at you, clearly stunned by your interest. Well, okay, kind of. You see, all the cool aircraft are already taken, and it's rude to be a double. They press the tips of their index fingers together and look thoughtful. Sometimes I draw my character, as something weird, like a hot air balloon. But then I think, it would kind of be cool if I was the only regular human in the Turbo Girl hyperjets. All right, well, that was an adorable interaction, but did not help the current situation at all. As much as I love Nomi. All right, we have one more. I don't think that helps us at all. I don't think if we... Okay, we're going to explore nearby just to see if I can find Diz. Diz, you motherfucker, where are you? Well, there's Sim again, but I'm not interested in... No offense, Sim. Like, you're cool and all, but I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for Diz. You spent so many days and weeks exploring. Some days you feel like you've seen it all, although you haven't gone very far from the colony. You have your favorite places, and you're heading to one of them right now. You like it because... it's beautiful? So much of Vertumna is beautiful, but this place really is. You relax and enjoy a fantastic view. Ah, this is the life. Damn it! Still no Diz. And we have convinced no one of anything, and it's glow season. Doors are locked. Oh, there's a crystal out there, and I can't get it. Okay, let's see. You two are there. You're over there. You're up there. Oh, still can't talk to that asshole. Alright, well, I guess we'll tend to the animals one more time before all this shit pops off. You hear shouts of surprise as you come up the path to the animal pens. As you get closer... Oh, yeah, it's glow season. This is when it's all dangerous. A trippet comes running towards you, its roots slip-slapping on the path. Wait, a trippet? You knew they were more animal than plant than the colonists had originally thought, hence being moved into the barn, but you didn't know they could run. You race the rest of the way to the barns. It's the trippets. They've started a revolt? Ranchers are trying to hold them back with rakes, but the trippets are popping and flopping all over the place, more agitated than you've ever seen them before. You want to cover your ears. The trippets are making the most atrocious whistling noise. Solana, Cal says, brandishing his rake like a shield as a trippet launches itself at him, trying to smash into his chest. Help! What do we do? I don't know the photo phoner, so I guess we'll use force to corral them. 99! God damn! Welcome back, Malice! How was your drive? Safe, I hope? Makes that 99789? That's decent. Three, 4. That was a terrible round. That's 18. That's 19. 250 stress? What the fuck? Alright, we got 13, 8, 5, 5, 4. And we'll push through with 25 stress. We got this. Raining hard, but I'm safe. I'm glad. I was just saying it was thundering here, so I was like, if I all of a sudden, like, end stream, it might have lost power. Glad you're safe now, though. You don't want to hurt them, but if you let them keep running around like this, they're just as likely to hurt themselves as someone else. You have a flash of inspiration and run into the barn, coming out with the tarp. You snap the tarp over the rioting trippets, capturing them like corn popping in a pot, and cinch the tarp around the edges to contain them. When it's all done, you have a giant plastic sack of trippets. With nowhere to go, eventually they calm down. Hey, not bad, Cal says. We could probably come up with a trippet trap that works on a smaller scale. He looks at the gently breathing lump of trippets. Feels kind of bad, though. Who know they could actually move that much? Now that you know how to control them, you and Cal petition to have the trippet enclosure widened to give them more nature and space to walk around if they want. I mean, that didn't really. I mean, like that extra like +1 to animal thing doesn't really help, being that this is glow and we're about to fucking die. Knowing the attack is coming, as it always comes in glow, does nothing to calm your nerves. There's only so long you can handle sheltering in your quarters. As the month draws longer, you find yourself almost compulsively walking the walls when you're not working, scanning the tree line for the first sign of trouble. You're there when you see them, dark on dark shapes coming out of the forest, perfectly silent. You watch with the lookouts as more and more figures amass at the forest edge. Minutes pass as the horde pushes into the firebreak, numbering at least, must be in the thousands, more animals than you've ever seen in one place. The ground is choked with a teeming carpet of smaller creatures darting in and among the legs of... No, oh no. The forest bends as a faceless emerges from its depths, followed by two more. The mood on the walls is discouraged. One faceless destroyed your colony. Two faceless required an irresponsible number of explosives to take down. How are you supposed to be able to handle three? Wait, there's even more? A familiar being cuts through the horde and stands at the front like a general leading their army. Gardeners must come in all shapes and sizes, but you know this one from the hatred in their eyes. It's Noctilucent. Noctilucent steps forward. For millennia, I have been tasked with keeping this planet safe from invasive species. Extreme weather, plague, famine, the migration of predators, all tactics I have used to ensure an invasive species cannot find a foothold where they do not belong. Their command of the human language has vastly improved since you last saw them. The gardeners learn very quickly. Controlling you by indirect means has proven ineffective, they say, glaring up at the row of horrified colonists atop the walls. I can no longer ignore the destruction you have caused and the threat you represent to the planetary ecosystem. However, Sim steps out of the tree line and stands beside Noctilucent. His eyes find yours unerringly across the firebreak. Some gardeners argue that you have the capacity for reason, Noctilucent continues. So I have come to offer you an alternative. Your unconditional surrender. Noctilucent smirks up at you. Surrender is the correct word, is it not? Something your singular violent brains can understand? Ow. The terms are simple. Humanity will cease reproduction, cease expansion, and in return will be allowed to live out your remaining lifespans within the bounds of your walls. Do you accept? Lum steps forward. Fuck you, dude. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told your little double agent spy, his voice booms out from the wall. You and your bullshit deal can bugger off, and keep buggering off, until you think you've buggered off so much you just can't bugger off any farther. He points at Noctilucent. Then, bugger off some more. This planet belongs to us humans now. It's hard to tell, but you think Noctilucent looks amused. Maybe they were hoping this would be your answer. And of course, with Lum speaking for the colony, it was inevitable. So be it, they reply, and the attack begins. Fuck, dude. I knew we weren't going to be able to convince anybody. All right, well, I guess we fight. Your species is truly hopeless, Noctilucent snarls. I told them you would never put aside your egos. The wave of attackers rolls over the firebreak, crashing against the walls. Flying creatures scream overhead, and the sound of plas rifle fire fills the air. You rushed... Oh? Well, shit. You rush toward the garrison to join the squads. As you run, you notice the colony is badly defended. I did not do a very good job with defenses. As you run, your heart sinks at how poorly organized the colony's defenses are. Luckily, nothing has breached the walls yet, and it seems that the tide of monsters emerging from the trees has slowed. Even still, it's a lot of monsters. The colony is taking a beating, and you can already see the defenders start to flag. It's going to be a difficult battle. You're descending from the walls when you are thrown to the ground by a tremendous rumble. A few meters in front of you, something tunnels towards you through the mud. You have the impression of something long and dark that cuts through the ground like a shark through water. You scramble to your feet, but it cuts off your path, forcing you towards a geoponics outbuilding. It's a storage shed, mostly empty besides bales of hay used as float cow feed. It's dimly lit, but you think you see another door at the far end. The creature advances, throwing up rocks and chunks of dirt as it tunnels closer. I'm that might be Socks. I'm not going to fight it because it could be Socks trying to corral me to safety. You dive through the doorway, hoping that a tunneling creature couldn't follow. It stops on the threshold and pokes a long black snout out of the dirt, sniffing. You sniff too. Is that smoke? You look up at the thatched roof and realize the building you're in is on fire. Okay, so it's a black snout, so it's not Socks. The dry thatch of roof, it quickly ignites and rains flaming debris down on your head, filling the room with toxic smoke. The ashy heat is intense. You can feel it ripping the moisture from your lungs with every breath. You rush for the rear door, but the fire moves so fast. You're trapped as a roof beam collapses in front of you. You hear a crackling noise, and then just pain. And a noise like a bell. And the world goes dark. You wake to chaos. A confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire. You hear your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out. But you aren't sure how you got here or what on Vertumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is a ringing in your ears. Yeah, let's just go ahead and climb out. You try to stand up, but one of your legs folds uselessly underneath you. It won't hold your weight. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. You see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like from Earth? We've seen this. This is the beginning of the game. Wait, hold on. You remember this from another life. Not a dog, a monster. It's about to end your life and probably Nem's too. She tightens her grip on you. Fuck! What is my bravery? Fuck! I'm not at 100. Dodge and fight it? Or you prepared for this earlier? I'm pretty strong. Let's dodge and fight it. You shout a warning and push Nem to one side as you dive to the other. The beast roars and transforms into a towering horror, a thing that has haunted your dreams for years. But you're ready for it. You realize you've been ready for it your whole life. You distract the creature by hurling a piece of debris, which it catches in midair and grinds it into bits with its powerful jaws. This gives Nem time to get close and zap it with her stun gloves. While the creature is immobilized, you jump in and finish it off with your plas cutter. You emerge from the inferno of the shed, burned and concussed, but alive. Anemone smiles. It's good to be alive. You have your wounds tended in the med bay. Other soldiers there are much worse shape, but at least the battle is over. This year, the colony was nearly wiped off the planet before the animals were finally repelled. The sawmills and arable land are torn up. The geoponics domes shattered yet again. The garrison lost some good soldiers, further reducing your already marginal defenses. There will be hard times ahead, and in just one more short year, another attack. Probably even worse than this one. The fight continues. But for now, you're just happy you survived to live another day. And that day is your birthday. It's like all like fire and damage, and then it's a birthday. By the time you've recovered, the suns have returned. It's your 20th birthday. You're a fully fledged adult now, though in many ways you already were and have been for a long time. You and your friends step out to greet the new day and start the rest of your life on Vertumna. The end. What? What do you mean the end? What do you mean the end? What happened to Diz? What about all the rest of it? We're just going to keep getting attacked. Oh my god, look at this art. Oh my god, I'm going to gush about it. Oh my god, it looks so good. Explorer. Look at it. Look at it. There's a whole planet out there to explore, and you intend to see every corner of it. I love this music too. Oh, I clicked to continue. It's a dangerous planet out there, but also full of endless frontiers and new discoveries to make. I prefer to explore alone. When it's just you and your glider, you're free to go where the wind takes you. You have some wild adventures, and are lucky to always return to the colony with stories to tell. But what about... Oh, it's Cal! Your boyfriend Cal grew up, but he never lost his boyish charm. He never wanted to be chief cultivator, but it was thrust on him. The responsibility of feeding the colony is enormous. Cal isn't good with confrontation, or pushing people as hard as your mom famously did. On years when drought or pests threaten the food supply, you often see him looking haggard. He deals with a lot of stress and it ages him quickly. But his kind nature means he never takes it out on other people or wants them to worry about him. He's a lot like your dad that way. Not every relationship that begins in your teenage years is fit to last, but with Cal, it just works. Cal is a natural father. Together, you have a tidy little sum of children, and that's the only tidy thing about them. Wait. I'm not going to question that. Because I was like, wait, didn't I say I was playing as a guy? Your children grow up digging in the dirt, eating bugs, nearly getting mauled by farm equipment, and having a great time being kids. Socks just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It seems she might live to be hundreds of years old. She protects the colony and remains loyal to Cal even as the attacks continue. Cal himself never gives up on trying to convince people to live in harmony with Vitumna. Though his family is his source of strength, he struggles with the violence that's necessary for the colony to survive here. In his 50s, he's killed while defending geoponics during an attack. You grieve him deeply for many years. What the fuck? What an ending! And really, he dies. Symbiosis, the bridge between two peoples, undying, never aging, ever patient Sim becomes as much a mystery to you as the rest of the planet. The colony continues to buckle under yearly attacks and unnatural disasters, but Sim never wavers in his passion to learn everything about humanity. Though he remains as cryptic as always, his affection for your species only deepens. In your grief and demoralizing fatigue, you sometimes turn to blaming Sim. Why can't he stop these attacks? Why can't he argue with the gardeners to leave humanity alone? He never holds it against you, no matter how cruel your words. Every time you calm down, he patiently reminds you that his dissenting voice is one of the only reasons humanity hasn't been destroyed outright. Meeting Sim in secret makes you feel horrible sometimes, like you're being torn apart in the middle of this war. You love your friend, but the war takes its toll on your friendships just like it wears down the colony. You visit Sim as your job allows it, but over time you see him less. He doesn't need to come to your rescue anymore. You're an adult now, and you know what you're doing out there in the wilds. Eventually, you stop seeing him at all. You think he might have taken another form. Maybe he's moved on from humans to study some other animal. Or maybe the gardeners have given up on understanding humans. The attacks only grow stronger every year. Your parents never got to see their colony through, but you live on in their stead. They'll always be with you, in the ground you walk on, in the trees that give you shade, and in the cycle of life that sustains you. Your Hopeye is a good companion, but you're no replacement for its own species. When a herd of Hopeye roam close enough to the colony, you release it back into the wild, and a few years later, you're greeted one morning by a whole litter of Hopeye kittens outside your door, and Optimus Prime proudly showing off their family. Aww. Your Vricky grows from the size of a small dog to the size of a bear, becoming more and more unwieldy, and more terrifying to small children. Before the council can force you to do anything about your arachnid octopus friend, Mushberry just disappears. You look everywhere in the colony for it, but your answer comes from outside the wall. A new Vricky nursery tree. Soon the colony is host to many curious Vricky pups who call your Mushberry home. The days turn to months, eventually becoming years, then decades. Before you know it, you're old. Life is tough, but rewarding. Almost. I'm barely on. I should be leaving, but I want to finish this out. It's the end of the game. Vertumna continues to challenge you and your loved ones. The attacks continue every year, getting harder and harder to withstand. And not just that, but droughts, earthquakes, diseases, storms, pestilence, and more. Some years you worry that the colony and humanity will be wiped off the map for good. But humans are good at surviving. The adversity strengthens your resolve. You mourn your dead, celebrate your births, and keep adapting to whatever the planet throws at you. This is your home, for better or for worse. You do what you can to make it a good one. Eventually, death comes to you as it does everyone. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out one by one and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. Is that a person? Holy shit, that's us. They seem so familiar. You feel like you know them so well. Oh, it's you. Only ancient. Their arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. The ancient you speaks without moving their mouth, not in words, but in something like pictures. Still, you understand. They smile. We had a good life, don't you think? But there are so many possibilities, and this was only one of them. Well, I tried. There was a girl. We were young together. Tammy with the cotton candy hair. Such a shame to see life snuffed out so young. They gave you a look as if to say you were somehow responsible for this. Wait, were you? Could you have saved her? We have a chance to take another path, to change the way your life turned out. They reach out a hand. Come with me. Go with them. And then you could start your new life. So we could redo knowing what we know. It's not over. Okay, we're not going to do it. I'm going to start the new life. Oh my God, that's cool. Hold on, I want to look at the gallery though. Oh, there's so many things we missed. So many. We only got, oh my God, look at all these. These are all endings. These are all endings. Holy God. There's so many. We didn't even find all the places because we didn't even get all the backgrounds. We got nowhere near the right amount of cards. Look at how many cards. Oh my God. What are Chivos? That was scary. There are so many achievements. Holy cow. Wow, guys. There is so much more to this game. It's Cal. It's Cal and Sim. That's cool. Run it back. We're going to. If you don't... Okay, so... We've romanced Cal, and it was a great romance. Don't get me wrong. Next game, though, we're going to try and keep Tammy alive. And I'm pretty sure if Tammy stays alive, her and Cal are going to end up together, which means we have to romance somebody else. And even though Diz is an asshole, maybe it'll be Diz. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe it'll be... I don't know. I like Rex, but I feel like he's not a one person kind of puppy. But anyway, I really have to...